Alrighty, that's good, that's good. Geez, sorry for a little bit of a late start. My microphone wasn't coming through at all. It wasn't actually picking up in the slightest, so I was like, oh no. So I had to restart my whole computer. Lame. And I just ate a bunch of spicy chips, and my body is like, it tasted so good, but my stomach's like, ah, God, why? Why do you do this to me? Let me pull up the chat as well as zoom in, so we're ready to rip that there. What do you call it? The stream got a little bit away from me. I was gonna prep more, like what do you call it? Have everything going well beforehand, but then I got caught up watching these Withering Waves video. Man, that shit's complicated. Man, people don't do a good job of explaining shit. People have a really bad habit of explaining stuff as if you are in the community and know everything already, and then they just give you like a quick little overview update, and I'm like, damn, man, I want to know what's actually happening, not like a quick little overview of like shitty information that's not explained at all. You know? Like, this is similar to this game that you've never heard about before, probably. I'm like, oh, great. Thank you so much. I might just be bitter. But, hey. That, and then some of this. Good. I wish YouTube did a better job at laying out the chat and such. So actually, maybe I can make it better if I do this. I think I can take away timestamps so I get a little more real estate out of the actual chat. Nice. Good at that. That there. Good. All right. Oh boy. All right. This is gonna be a little awkward, more awkward than normal. We're gonna go to, where is it? Where's gameplay? Where's gameplay, you bastard? Why is that all open? Close that. It's distracting as hell. This. Activate. Alrighty. Oh, let's reset the video. Ladies and gentlemen, how is your Thursday? We have so much to talk about. I've been looking forward to this stream for a long time because we got some bullshittery. We got some Xbox being scumbaggy weirdness. We also got Withering Waves apparently is coming out in this month, which I was like, what? And Lone's been going down the rabbit hole with that. I am so excited. We got so much stuff to talk about, and this is kind of like in VR land. But oh my god, dude, we are finally going to be getting a big ol' update for Bonelab. And yeah, Bonelab is still one of those games where I keep playing and I'm like, man, is this ever like incredible? Like there's a moment or like there's like a clip or a scene that I'm able to do or I'm able to capture, and it just blows so many other VR games out the water as far as just having that access. Like right now you can be doing that right now, even though hopefully in the future we get better variants of those things, but still. Also, Lone says, I've been waiting for this stream all week. Yeah, me too, man. Especially ever since you told me the Withering Waves was happening. That was such a delay, because again, I was sitting there like, man, I feel like we don't have like another game to look forward to. Like it's always nice to know when what the next thing is, even if you're enjoying, at the time I'm enjoying Dragon's Dogma, or if I'm enjoying Destiny 2 a lot. Even though I'm enjoying all these things, I so badly can't wait till we get into the actual, like, or looking forward to the thing. Also, yeah, apparently this person apparently is God. I just seen I watched a couple videos of like everything you need to know about Withering Waves, and once again, people are terrible at making guides. I shouldn't say. I don't mean to be like a snob about it. I just mean people don't make a guide for the express person who wants like a satisfying answer. A lot of times, people will make like, what is the best bang for my, not even bang for my buck. It's just like a weird, like rushed thing, like where they just don't know who they're talking to or who they're speaking to. Like if I'm talking to someone who genuinely knows nothing about this, what will they need to know to be brought up to speed? And then what are the cool things that they would care about? That's the lens in which you should look to make a guide, not I'm just going to talk about all the kind of features that existed in this game, not explaining really any of them. So I'll just talk about them, but I'm not going to tell you what they mean or what they really do or why it's important. Just, here's the thing, that's it. Here's the next thing. Here's the other thing. And I'm like, what are any of these things? You know? Anyways, I'm bitter. Fluff says he's going to go in the channel a little bit. Yeah. Also, ladies and gentlemen, holy shit. We are covered in smoke. I'm not sure if Nub will pop in here, but damn, we are covered in smoke. We got a forest fire happening near us, and it looks like Mad Max outside as always. Shit's crazy. Kind of, it always looks like, you know that thing that happened in New York City where it's like covered in like red smog. It looks like a gross, creepy, nasty place. You can't go outside because you'll get breathing damage. Yeah, that's a Canada every summer now. Every summer. It's gotten exponentially worse. And guess what? The rest of the continent's going to have to eat it because the smoke travels, bitch. So it's not just our problem. Lone says, "What's up, Grin? Nothing too much, Lone. I ate a bologna sandwich with spicy chips, with spicy Miss Vicky chips in there. Miss Vicky chips are a little too hard to be enjoyed in a sandwich. If you guys don't know the absolute bliss of a sandwich coupled with a Lay's chips, just like plain original Lay's chips, a bologna sandwich, and that it is fire, dude. So damn good. Also, I'm not really. Well, we'll eventually lock in on the gameplay, and we'll look at all these things and react to it. But right now, I'm more interested in you guys, and eventually we'll get into the new Withering Waves questions and such." Lone says, "I'm here to answer your Withering Wave question. Let's hit it. Let's do it." Yunlin, now this is the character for me if there ever was. Well, yeah, man. What do you call it? Like the one character who's the redhead essentially. People are like thirst trapping like crazy over that person. What do you call it? Yeah, man, the one character that I still want deeply is the Joker guy. The guy who's clearly like the villain person. And I'm not even big into like, I want to play the villain. Maybe when we play the game, he'll be such a doucher that I'll be like, nah, no thanks. But I just like his aesthetic so much. And I don't think he's a playable character yet. Also, man, so many of the characters look so like just cracked. Like not cracked, or like they just, it's maximum effort. You know what I mean? Like this person's like balancing on little drums as they're juggling. And just damn, damn, it looks crazy. It's just like stun locking the shit out of them. Like it looks so cool. I don't know how good they are, but that's always the issue with gacha games. Where like, and it's like the pain, like the deep pain of Genshin, which is like, holy shit, I love the look of this character so much, and then you're like, yeah. Oh, that character is like the coolest staff moveset I've ever seen. Yeah, it's a support character, so you'll never be able to really scale it like that. And yeah, you could if you wanted, I guess, but there's no real point to, like, they'll always be exponentially worse than anyone else. And you're like, why do you always give like the sickest attack combinations to these people? So that's the same kind of the plight of gacha games, where you're like, is this something to be excited for? Or is this kind of just like a meh, whatever kind of vibe? This dude looks like a powerhouse. The one who's the fucking inspiration for what's his name from Final Fantasy. Who the hell is she? I don't think I've seen her yet. People did say there was like a chibi person who's pretty powerful. I think she's like a healer, and she seemed pretty good. Although, Lone, am I right in like we're going into the beta? This is not the full release of the game, I don't think. I think it's the open beta. Are we going to carry over progress to the open beta into the live game, or no? It doesn't really matter to me. I'd probably play both. I just wonder what, yeah, because people are saying that like they're also giving us a free 5-star weapon to choose from out of the entire lot. So yeah, it seems like they're real generous right at the hop. And I was looking at some of the gacha things, and the gacha mechanics seemed a little more complex than I thought. There's 4 banners. There's basically like bog standard character banner, bog standard weapon banner, and then there's like the limited time monthly, by double monthly, whatever it is, weapon banner and character banner. And yeah, the same thing as like pity scene. But it's interesting that the bog standard banner for your first roll is going to be a 50. So you get a character every 50 pulls, and then every 50-50. So I think you get a pull basically twice. You have a high chance of getting 2 legendaries or 2 5-stars, so to speak. But I'm not sure if that was like, again, it's really hard to find like current information that is going to be like live in the game, or if we're like the videos I was watching of like everything you need to know about Withering Waves is like 7 months back. I tried to find ones that were like a month away or 9 days old or something like that. So I think they should be relevant. Lone says, Yunlin, that's the one character that you want the most. Are you talking about Scar? Maybe. He looks kind of like, he just looks like Joker. Like he looks like from what's it called? That game that everyone loves, Persona. But like instead of that, he has white hair, red jumpsuit, and yeah, he has a bunch of playing cards always around him. Alone says, Kelora is the what the fuck is that? Sephiroth. There we go. Sephiroth of what? Yeah, Sephiroth. Yeah. No, exactly what you meant. Yeah. See, I said Final Fantasy, and then you said Sephiroth, and I'm like, yeah, that's one hell of a name, Sephiroth. Alone says the starter pack, the starter banner, after 50 pulls, you get you have to select your 5-star standard character. Oh, okay. So you're saying no. You're saying, oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Okay, so you don't just get your 5-star chance. You get to go put 50 points, 50 currency into this banner, and then you literally get a pick from the 5. That's pretty crazy. I don't know if there's one. I don't know what is there going to be the ability to reroll in this game? You think like run it the quest a couple times until you get enough until you get you lock in at least one 5-star at the hop, so then you can go into all the other things being pretty effective. Is that something or not? With how free to play friendly they're seemingly being. I shouldn't say free to play. They're being they're creating systems that seems like it's like a proper estimate of what gacha is, which is you can either pay to play and you get a ton of content, or you can play more to get just as much as the people who are playing. But Genshin basically finds ways to there's almost no way for you to play enough to kind of be able to experience it all. That the people who are paying are going to be able to, which this game seems like it has a lot of mechanics that actually make it so that no, you can, if you just want to play a little more, you can actually get a lot more out of it, to maybe even all of the stuff that you could be able to. You should be able to try every 5-star. Should be able to maybe even invest in them. Not in all of them, but invest in 1 or 2 if you have enough points. But we'll see. Again, it's always easy to. When we get in game, we start playing with all the mechanics 2 months later, oh yeah, it's not quite it's not quite as easy to get the 5-star copies. It's not quite as easy to get the weapon banner. It's not quite as readily, there's not as many gems readily available, kind of, so to speak. Lone says, yeah, so you don't really need to re-roll. I mean, no, I don't know about that. I still think in my dumb head, I would do the math. Are you getting fucking smoked out, Nub, or not yet? But anyways, in my head alone, I could be like, okay, if I can get a guarantee, a 5-star within the first 20 pulls, and then I can, because maybe we're given 80 pulls day one. If once we do all the stuff, we get 80 pulls total. So then in my head, I think, okay, let me go on the normal banner, and then just roll twice, and see if I get enough, if I get one 5-star, and then I'll go in the standard whatever banner, and then I'll roll again until I'll spend my 50, then I'm gonna choose, and I'll walk away with 2 5-stars. That's how my brain works. About well, maybe we'll be able to maximize the profit gain for this. Nub says, no, I don't think we have smoke here. Oh, I hope not, man. I think shit's coming. Right? Yeah, it's I don't even know what to say. Nub, this is kind of like a deep cut, but they're telling us that a person, I almost don't want to believe this. You say BRB, I'll tell you when you come back. Are you talking about Scar Caliber is this and that? Yeah, so you don't really need a reroll. You can reroll, take on average 30 minutes to do. So yeah, it's fine. That's fine for me. Walking away with 2 5-stars opposed to just 1? Huh. Get away from me. Oh, my eye. Oh, my eye's twitching again. Lone says, the ecosystem, echoes being artifacts from Genshin, you have fight open world enemies and capture them, and they give you stuff. Yeah, okay, so this was one of the things that they mentioned, which I think genuinely is really clever for this game. So basically, Withering Waves, in Genshin, you basically just would grind, you spend your currency for the day, you would get artifacts, and then you'd be good to go. Where this game, you basically fight enemy types, and then they can drop their, I don't know what you want to call it, but they're their Pokeball, I guess, and now you have a copy of that, or a digital imprint of that beast, monster. And these monsters are basically artifact sets. I don't know if every monster is an artifact set, but let's just say that's just say there's a couple that are specifically artifact sets. So you can have the same thing as Genshin, where if you have 2 sets of this, you can get this bonus, but if you have 4 sets of that same monster, then you can get even more out of it. But what's really cool is they basically made it so that a lot of the monsters have a passive effect. So I think for Genshin, I think you can equip maybe I think it's 12 of these quote-unquote beasts into your character, which give you 20% fire damage or whatever, just like an artifact. But you can equip like a Mega Mind one that basically gives you like the power. So like there's ones where like you'll be fighting an enemy and you'll be able to summon this giant gorilla that has like a giant stick and just start smashing the ground and doing a ton of AoE damage. So it goes beyond just being an artifact set. It's almost like an ability. So it's an artifact set, but it also has the capacity to be an ability. But the thing that's even crazier is I think how it works is similar to Genshin. You basically have you can infuse this item and it will become more. So there's a range from anywhere from like you getting 10 critical rate when you enhance it to 20 critical rate. Maybe that's not the exact skew, but let's just say it's like an evolution of that. Lone, stop me, patch my holes in in my logic if I'm off in some way. I'm sure I am. But the idea being that where basically you can like keep investing in one of your artifacts. But the thing I'm confused about, Lone, like really confused about, is, and this is to me is like one of the cooler things that they've added if I'm understanding it correctly. But basically, if you have a certain, how do I phrase this properly? Like I think how it works is, it seems like when you go to, say if I get a monster, all right, I go to farm a monster, I get like 2 copies of this monster's like artifact. I start investing in it, I can get either like a lot of a stat or not that much of a stat. But if I get like a low amount of critical rate, critical damage, and maybe like my desired damage, then it's actually okay. It's not the worst artifact. It's a little bit shitty that it didn't roll with something that I actually deeply want. Did I loop this? Let's see. So that's my understanding of that. I didn't. God damn you. God damn you. But the thing, this is what I'm confused about. Do the artifacts or the monsters have a base metric that can be varied? So like if I go and fight a monster, I can get an artifact set that the base of that artifact is like let's say 100 damage or 100 attack scaling versus 300 attack scaling, and any of the monster type that is that artifact can vary in that gap. Because something I was watching like Everything You Should Know kind of video, and the person mentioned that like the developers basically made it so that you can like infinitely farm monsters, so you can basically get the artifact set or the like artifact that is like the highest scaling, and that's what they made it sound like. So like to me it's like, oh okay, so instead of Genshin where you're like, I burned my resin for the day, I'm fucked. You know, I have no more content. In this game, do they make it so that basically you can keep farming those enemies to get like a really good strong base stat scale? Is that right? That's the way they made it sound. I just don't know if that's the actual like bread and butter of it all. Let me catch up on Lone's comment. The starter banner is 50-50 Paul. You don't need to really reroll. What's good, anime fan? How's your day been? We're talking about Withering Waves. I'm not sure if I'm excited for that game or not, but I am juiced. Yes, I don't really need to reroll. The Echo system, Echoes being artifacts from Genshin, you have to fight open world enemies and capture them, and then they give you your stats. Yeah. But to me, like the one thing I'm really interested in is understanding like what the intrinsic gameplay loop is. Anime fans, I just woke up to be honest. Ooh, weekend and sleepy. Well, hopefully you wake up soon, or wake up like actually feel refreshed in a minute. But anyways, what do you call it? Yeah, I want to understand what the gameplay loop of Withering Waves would be, and I think that makes sense. Like, if you want to like try to kind of flush out time, it's a good idea to basically give people the ability to get like the artifact that has the highest like base scaling, and then it's about getting like the reroll of all the highest stats. So it basically allows people to play and grind and farm much longer. But you also get the variability of not having like the idea of getting the perfect like stat roll on your weapon seems psychotic. like you not only have to get a good base stat scaling roll, but also you get the substats. You have to get the substats being perfect, which that's like. And also, a lot of people from the betas and all that stuff have been saying that like you can beat the hardest boss with basically just like being a parry god. Like the game does not require you to be to need overwhelming damage scaling. You can easily just like parry the fuck out of these things and like destroy. We're probably not that good, but yeah. What's good, Brian? Brian says hopefully no account issues. What do you mean, Brian? What do you mean? What do you call it? Also, guys, I want to talk. Brian, you have VR in your name. Do you know what the title is about Bonelab Patch 4? If you do, let me know so I have someone to talk to about it, because I'm like coming out of my skin right now with that news, but no one knows how meaningful that news is, essentially. But people who are in the Bonelab community. Okay, on the topic of Withering Waves, Lone says, yes, echoes do have different rarities, and each rarity has its own set. Okay, echoes do have different rarities, and each rarity has its own set of stats. And yes, you could theoretically, theoretically far endless, but, yes, you could, theoretically far endless, but the thing is you'd have to do it through co-op, I think. Oh, I see. Yeah, I heard someone say that, which I hope they patched, which, like, so you can't infinitely farm bosses, essentially. So to me, it just creates a really messy situation. Like, people are gonna farm the shit. They're just gonna be jumping to co-op place to co-op place, and they're just gonna be, I mean, I guess it does kind of create a community. It does kind of create a community in the Withering Waves section of, like, content creators going into their fans' world and helping them kill their boss, or whales going into, like, other people's world and helping them kill their boss. That actually makes a shocking amount of sense. As much as I don't like it, that makes a freakish amount of sense. In a game that is extremely difficult based, like has the difficulty swing to it, wouldn't it be amazing if there was, like, a community that constantly pulled other people who are maybe aren't whales, who are maybe less skilled, or maybe less obsessed with, like, iframe dodging and stuff like that, who have less experience, if there was an incentive built in for you to jump into a co-op game and then pull them through their desired boss that needs to be fought and killed. That's really interesting, man. Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't know if it's the most efficient, because eventually people will. Well, what happens if you want to go farm one boss, but the guy who doesn't want that boss to be farmed, he wants this other boss? It just seems like there's a lot of hurdles to jump in. Unless they had, like, a really good matchmaking system where, like, you go up to the boss and you can hit a button and it will start matchmaking you with anyone who's waiting to try to kill this boss with a person. And maybe if they give you, like, an XP gain or, like, an extra resource gain for, like, contributing to co-op help, so there's a reason for, like, whales to do it as well, because you're getting more out of it technically. That to me would make much more sense. Interesting. Yeah, but don't throw me for a loop there. You say, yes, echoes do have different rarities. Each rarity has its own stats and set of stats. What does that mean, Lone? Because, like, I know, like, so, like, say I'm farming this boss or I'm farming this enemy, I get a lot of, like, rare blue drops, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I can get, like, a legendary drop, you're saying, and then I can then just try to basically scale up that artifact or whatever, trying to get the ideal perk roll. But, like, it didn't necessarily, like, I could be farming this, so I can, like, basically just farm a ton of this enemy type. I guess, like you're saying, we have to do it through co-op, so you can kind of work your way through it, I guess, getting more out of it in that way. I really hope they patch that. Although I do understand that there's, like, clearly an incentive there to help people, like, pull people who are not so wanting the difficulty type of experience. You can pull them through if you're, like, a god at this game. But yeah, that's tricky, man. Yeah, but yeah. So that makes sense. I was thinking it was going to be like you get an artifact and then you have to look at, like, the base stat, like the base attack. But you're saying no, they just made it like a rarity. So, like, if you, instead of looking at, like, the attack and then knowing that, like, the base attack is 300 and the maximum attack is 800, and if you got 600, you're like, it's not really worth it. Let me throw it away. You're saying that they just made it so that, like, rares are between this and this, and then legendaries are like this and this, and so on and so forth. I think that makes more sense as far as just, like, not having to do the math in your head every time you see an artifact. Fluff says, getting my breakfast finished up. If you have any questions regarding Destiny 2 after the Withering Waves and Bonelab discussion, let me know. Gotcha, Fluff. I probably will, but I feel like I need to get back in and play Destiny. I was gonna play it last night, but I didn't have any time. I'm still trying to edit this video that I have for Bonelab, and then I want to play a lot. But yes. Oh, also, what do you call? Nub did come back. Also, what's good? Lost Wood says did you hear about the new game? I did. We seen the screenshot. I'll talk about that maybe in a little bit if you remind me. But yeah, what do you call it? Nub says, well, that was wasted. My bro had already turned it on. It's the air seems perfect. Also, still waiting for you to say you hate me. I haven't watched it yet, Nub. It's been the most busy week ever. Okay, I want to. I literally have it like set there. I will watch it now at this point. At least the video that you told me about. Maybe not the whole show. I don't have time for that, but I'll watch the video eventually. It's probably not even that long. But what do you call it? I wanted to say, Nub. What do you call it? We have fires going on right around us right now, so it's just like smoggy Mad Max outside weather. But they said that the fire was caused by a person who had basically like had a fire pit 2 years ago, and underneath the fire pit, the coals were still smoldering. Where I live is one of the coldest places in the planet. We get to like the second coldest place on the planet almost yearly. It's super cold where we live. It's like a maximum, like especially in certain times of winter, we hit like really, really cold, and then it kind of balances out and then get really, really cold again. So we have high spikes essentially, but it's not always. It's not like fucking Antarctica, but it's like really bad specific weather sometimes. Where I specifically live in Alberta. But what do you call it? The fact that it was like coals were underground for 2 years. And they were like smoldering, and then they pick it. Almost makes me be like, they're lying. They're like, there's some asshole hillbilly Canadian out there in the woods is like, fuck it. Oh yeah, that they were smoldering like 2 years ago. But supposedly they can like investigate and check. I don't know, dude. But that's wild. Like, almost makes me feel like the whole like forest fire thing. That's just an impossible problem to solve. Everyone has fires. You know what I mean? If we're going camp, are we gonna ban camping altogether? And then you just happen to have coals that seep into the ground and then just fucking stay lit the whole time? What the fuck is that? That's terrifying. The ground is very good thermal. I know, but 2 years going through the craziest winter? That's just wild to me. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Was it like there a root that it finally starts cooking up and heating? Ah, jeez Louise. Also, coals keep smoldering for a long time, though. I don't think 2 years. That 2 years seems way too much. Way too much. Grin apologizes for what he has done to you. Shut up now. All right, Lone says, I mean, Grim, you can spend your resin on bosses you want. You can still help someone and not spend your resin on the boss in particular. What you mean? What you mean? The way that like the video made it sound, and that's what I'm trying to understand, because they just do such a bad job of explaining like what like a person who has no idea what's going on about what's going on. They basically made it sound like, oh, if you wanted to like infinitely grind for this insert thing, you could. So it made me think, oh, like basically there's a difference between farming a boss and having to spend resin. I think because I thought only bosses, like big bosses, drop certain things, and then you have like just normal enemies out in the world space who also drop gear. Yeah, and I think when you increase your world level, that increases the legendary drop chance for you just getting any artifact in general. And it seems like you're gonna need a lot of artifacts. Should have a giant ass iPad? Weird. I'm not sure if I like the sleepy girl archetype in anime. It always kind of feels very lazy, you know, just like anime fan says, I don't like anime open world since I tried Genshin. Really? Oh man, I tried Genshin out and I thought, oh my god, if this was actually a game, I'd be in heaven. I love me the basically infinite hunt and infinite excitement of a new character that are gonna like unravel to you and like see all the cool things. Although I've always enjoyed harem anime because of that as well, just because it's like, here's a really cool archetype, here's a new other cool archetype, here's another fun character, and it's just so much different like types of unique characters being explained, which is nice. And there's always a lot of degenerate shit there as well, which is Lone says, example, uncommon. Okay. Lone says, an example, uncommon echoes, if you remember, that flat attacks defense and HP, while ray echoes might have elemental damage bonuses, such as havoc damage bonus, and then legendaries have your crit rate / damage and attack. What does that mean? example, uncommon echoes. Okay, if you remember the flat attack defense and HP, while Rhea echoes might have elemental damage bonus. Okay, so based on the rarity of the legendary, the legendary itself has a different stat group that can drop. Is that what you're trying to say? Tell me. So you're saying like an uncommon can drop with attack and defense and HP scaling, which is not bad. But whatever the hell ray echo, whatever that is, I don't know. I imagine that's a higher like quality artifact or echo. That can drop with now has the opportunity to get critical rate. Does it still have all of the other opportunities like attack, defense, and HP, or is it just critical rate and like that? I imagine they just increase the pool of things you can get, but the good stuff that you can get is also increased. Alone says, I'm not 100% sure if I get the exact details down, but I think I got the overall Okay. A little bit of a blind leading a blind, but hey. Lone says, normally enemies dash bosses and elites are all echoes. Oh, okay. Yeah, so every enemy you fight has a chance of giving you their move set or bonus, I guess. Love says, honestly, I'd enjoy Let It Die way more if I was a bit less pay to win. Yeah. To me, yeah, I guess. I'm more dislike again bad answers to questions. Like I'm all for difficulty. I truly am. I don't mind difficulty, but what I dislike is when there's again, I have climbed the tower for 2,000 hours of my life, probably something around there. That's a lot. Why, the fact that I got to go all the way to 50 to 100, which I think they've eventually added. I think that was one of the patches that they added recently, which is a definite win. But there was tons of stuff like that existed within Let It Die that drove me nuts, which is why do I have to still keep climbing? I've clearly climbed enough at this point. Why can't I just jump to the place where I have the most value to be gained? But anyways, but I'll be honest, 2,000 hours, I'm pretty sick of just climbing of the tower in general. So yeah, that's why I call it pay to. Yeah. I don't know if they ever added a Tengeku version of all the way to the 100. That would be a little bit more pay to win. But yeah, I see what you're saying. There's other variables that are definitely pay to win, or pay to massively. It's not that it can't be done by without paying. It's just that there's so many weird things that are specifically placed in there to make it so that you feel incentivized to pay. That I think is at least fair. Anime Fan says, yeah, but after you hit AR14, the flow of quests stops, and it's so much if you grind that I could beat every expansion in Destiny 2 on Legendary modes solo when you read. Yeah, okay. Well, Anime Fan, I'm happy to report that, what do you call it? Yeah, totally. You want to know what's super sad, Anime Fan? I got to AR50 in that game. Listen, COVID was a whole hell of a time. Okay. But yes, it got exponentially worse by the way. It took 3 months just to get one level eventually. And that was if you were doing everything perfectly. Anyways, I think I got to 49, and I think Alone got to 50. Actually, I think I did. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we crossed that threshold. I think we were right there. Anyways, point is this game coming out, it seems to be being less of a piece of shit. I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll let you know. I'll keep you up to date when this game comes out this month, and I'll play it, and I'll be like, listen, it's still kind of, if you didn't like that about Destiny, or not Destiny, if you didn't like that about Genshin, this one's rough too, probably, in that way at least. Alone says, but boss, you have to spend resin on, but mobs you can go around the. Okay, so that's what they were meaning. So I imagine, I hope the boss drops are not so cracked out of your mind that it's pointless to go for the common perks, etc. Hopefully, but at least that should help us get to endgame faster. And yeah, but I'm excited for the whole iframe dodging. Although I'll be honest, well, the gameplay we keep seeing is based off bog standard enemy types, right? But I think eventually shit gets gonna get harder. It's just gonna get much harder. So I'm kind of like, okay, I want to see that like tension that existed within the first boss fight trailer we've ever seen for this game, which was like, oh fuck, you have to like dodge like a ton. You have to perfectly time your like parry. This is kind of feeling, well, this is a bad example because it's the training arena, so they're not fighting back. But hopefully there's like an incentive to like dodge and like bob and weave and stuff like that. Lone says, but boss says, drop presence in the world fight. I got to AR. Oh, that's what it was. 60. Yeah, no, sorry, that's what it was. Whatever the max AR was, I was right on the hop of like 58. I think that's where exactly we were. And then I tapped out because I was like, eh. Lone says, I also felt hollow inside by the end of it. Oh no. I remember Lone telling me that and I was like, Jesus, it's just brutal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta take off my hoodie. It's way too hot. God damn it. Wait a sec. Oh, I did shoulders yesterday and my body's just broken. Lowen says, I also felt hollow inside. By the end of it, Grin, important question. What is your starting team gonna be? There are 3 characters you want on your team after seeing this video. Okay, gotcha. We'll watch the video now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the reaction part of the stream, where we rewatch this video. These are all the Withering Wave characters, which I'm kind of just having in the background. We have Jayan. This is the 5-star. This is the cream of the crop. He has a sword that transforms into a spear. Kind of bitch beta move with the not just going full spear all the time. But hey, swords, all that. Hate swords. Anyways, cool ass Dragon Man extraordinaire. People be thirst trapping like, why do I keep saying trapping? It's just thirsting on Twitter about this very beautiful looking anime man. Okay, but that little ponytail, I feel like you could just grab and just smash his head in the ground. I hate, it's like the capes with the Incredibles. It's just not good. Anyways, it looks awesome, honestly. The dragon move, he looks like just an absolutely juiced version of Xing Cho. If you guys know who, Xiao, I think his name is Xiao. Yeah, and wow, I didn't know that that dragon actually like bit and then like pushed them around. That's wild. Anyways, so, oh, okay, yeah. So that's his alt. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was like, does he have? I don't know what his like secondary ability is. Looks like it's just a lunge, but his base attack combination's looking crazy. I imagine he is just bog standard DPS. Looks good, frankly. I'm not sure, probably 8. This is where everyone's going crazy. This is like, you know, like the male thirst on Twitter versus the female. It's eclipsed, essentially. But golly, people really big fan of this one. I think he's like a whip or a yo-yo. It's a yo-yo person, where she basically has a cute little ghost yo-yo who she just throws around, smashes with electricity. I've seen a little bit of gameplay of this. Great AoE, it seems like. Apparently, tons of damage. I don't know if I think she's a little bit overcooked, which is what people were saying. Like, goddamn, it's out on mobile, I believe. For what, this one? I don't know if it's this one's out on mobile. I know it's coming to mobile eventually, but I think the closed or open beta is gonna be this month. I think that's what Lone was telling me. I don't think it's the full release yet, but I could be wrong. Oh yeah, they would definitely do an open beta, I think, and not just a release. Challenge complete. Yeah, okay, so that was her. She seemed great. She seemed like a lot of damage. I'll be honest, I don't really know exactly what they're doing. Like, I just see attacks, so I don't know like what their proficiency is. Apparently, the bog standard character, which is this character, I believe. This is your like just everyone. This is your starter character essentially. Main character, I would say too. They apparently are great. They do AoE and then they do extra alt charge, which is cool. So they're not the worst apparently, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, Lone. It looks like, are you healing or are you doing little nodes of damage? Yeah. This video is not very helpful. Oh, that one's fun. Okay, yeah, so that's like Venti's swirl AoE thing they were talking about. Got it. Grin, more port of this. Oh wait, this one. What is this person? We have a tiny little pink girl. Okay. She has a little tractor beam beside her. So she has ranged ability. She has 2 little teddy bears, cute, that have guns. That's kind of sick, honestly. Why does it have to be a little? Why can't it be like a little dude with like a teddy bears? There's always like this chick, tiny little child, fucking shit up. She's getting possessed, and she summons a demon goat. I think cute. I actually really like this character. Looks neat. The damage numbers don't seem to be there, but I don't know if I'm crazy or not. She's got little demon horns. It's adorable. Actually, Grin, that was a puppet. I thought it was a yo-yo too. Oh, I see. But she treats it like a yo-yo, right? Because she's like, I guess it's the same thing. If you have like a puppet on a string. All right, this character, this one looks like the one I kind of like the most, but the damage numbers don't really seem to be there, buddy. Damn you. Yeah, what do you call it? This one I think is rad. Eventually he'll get into his combos and he's like juggling people and like climbing on the air, which looks rad. He also just has a giant, I don't know if it's a he or she, by the way. It's the long hair always throws me for a loop. These damn Japanese fucking companies, which are like, samurai, don't cut hair because of code or something. And I'm like, it's real. The faces are always feminine, so it's hard to tell in general. Lone says, no, Grin. Oh, it's the full release. Oh, shit, okay. Did they just not have an open beta? What a bunch of weirdos. Look at this shit. He's climbing on drums. I think they're not touching the ground, so I think he's literally floating. Okay, so I guess this is his alt, I would assume. So he goes into like a berserk form and then just starts lighting shit up as like a dragon. This person is the other 5-star. He is like Sephiroth, looking crazy. I'll be honest. The one I want the most is that little boxing person, and I'm pretty sure he's crap. And also the pink-haired girl, which I'm sure both are 4-stars. So none of the 5-stars are really like up there yet. I'll probably go with whoever's the strongest because none of them are speaking to me too much. I think I like the spear guy more than I like this guy, even though he looks fine too. I do like when he activates his ult, he gets like this cool fucking like cross on his chest. Very anime, very Sephiroth. But then again, the other guy, he summons a fucking giant dragon, and he's just a dragon just flowing around him. So I feel like that's way more like aesthetically more going on. You know, anyway. But very cool in this way. Okay, is this the girl who's cracked? I don't know. He no longer shows faces. But there's one character that's apparently like godly as far as like health is concerned. I think she's like one of the best healers in the game. And apparently all you really need in this game is a healer, because there's only like one objective at end game, which is like Spiral Abyss, which requires you to have a lot of damage, which is nice. No, Grin, that's Jangix and Rover, the main character. Oh, that's not the same person? Oh, I thought it was the same person. What is she doing, by the way? She's summoning flowers. A little reef that I bet heals you. No, this doesn't look like the OP healer that I've seen. I think she had like white hair. This is very much me being like, okay. All right. Grin, how the fuck do you do it? That you can record so much. Nub! Welcome to hell! Welcome to being all high energy for so long. Let me guess, you heard your voice in playback and thought, man, I sound tired. And you thought, fuck, I better try to speak with some enthusiasm. Then you did that and you're like, fuck, I'm tired now just by doing that. Yeah, Nub. God, I love it so much. Yes. What do you call it? It's best to just try to have as much fun as possible because you're going to be tired regardless. But unless you're like a hyper extrovert, then maybe that. But I'm pretty sure both of us aren't. What do you call it? Nub, I recorded for 2 days almost straight to record these fucking VR videos I recorded. And I'm moving. I'm like moving a ton while doing that. That's exhausting, you know, in every way. Emotionally exhausting, trying to map out a story in your brain while you're performing it. Wildly exhausting. Anyways. Nub says, making a single video is taking me way like, yeah. Oh, yeah. It takes so long. You have no idea. Everyone thinks, oh, why aren't you playing this game that you enjoy a lot of? And I'm like, because I spent fucking 3 days editing. And most of the time what I make is like fucking hyper complex. Like fucking wildly complex. And also, I know the power of like adding audio, like so adding good music. I know how important that is. I know how important adding like zooms and stuff like that to keep people engaged is, so you don't lose people too quickly. All that stuff takes so much meticulous little time, but it ends up being a real good video. So it all ends up being worth it because eventually when it's done, you're like, I fucking killed that, and that was really cool. And then it gets enough views, and you feel sad about it, but then you make more because you're addicted and you can't help it. Yeah. All right, this is also a character I think I want. It's just, who doesn't love like range combat and also the tomboy aesthetic, which this lady has in Spade. And yeah, boom, in Stride made more sense. No more like I never got to the voice recording. Oh wow, oh, actually that's interesting, Nub. Interesting that you made the gameplay edit before you made the voiceover. Often I do the voiceover just so my thoughts are concise and in sequence. And then I do I add the gameplay over top my voice, and then usually you can tell like, okay, I'll cut out this chunk of my point or whatever, my topic, that I'll do a voiceover over that little chunk, and I'll add in me reacting to something on screen. Like, look at this. That to me is a much more efficient way to do it because you basically, it's just way easier for you to ramble about like your general points and to have like a good consistent run rather than having to like react to what you're seeing all the time. And it's also easier for you to have like a moment of inspiration and be like, they also did this, and then for you just to add gameplay in the background or something that shows off that in the background. The edit portion have most of the things set up. I just need the voice and the background video. Well, it's my first video. Yeah, man, but I think you're gonna kill it. You're already like thinking better than a lot of people about that. Most people just shit out a video and it's terrible. You should always try to do your best to make the best video you could at the time. Also, mainly because it's a vid on random facts or specific topics. So I just record it as it happens. Like halfway we found out you can throw items into other people's inventory, so I recorded that and slapped it into the video. Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. Also, people love shit like that, especially if you're, it's what they refer to it as, it's always referred to as a pattern interrupt. But it's basically that. It's just like you're basically you don't want a complete through thread because it gets very boring. That's why most streamers, like if you look at some of the most exciting content online, like people are watching a lot of it, it's usually like reactive content right now. Beforehand it was like Minecraft, which again, a creeper could fall in your lap, and nighttime could come, and now you're trying to build a house really quickly. Call of Duty, what do you call it? You get a crazy snipe collab or whatever, and so on and so forth. Battlefield, it was just a series of like crazy moments constantly escalating. Yeah, same thing for like React content is probably the best like actual execution of what essentially is pacing, which is you have a through a video where you're like pulling along a story, like I did this thing, and then you have moments of like, fuck it, this is interesting enough for me to put it somewhere. I just want to put it in the video, and then that kind of breaks up the flow of the video so that it still remains exciting and not just like, okay, I can kind of see where everything's going, and you get bored. But yeah, Loans of Advent says, now I need to hope that the grind for 5 stars isn't trash. Hopefully, I hope it's not. Jeez. Lone says, this is Liang, and there is an issue with him that when he goes up in the air, it messes with the hitbox, meaning if the enemy is below him, he won't hit them. Oh, so that's the problem with the one punchy guy? Ew. So there's like a cute, I don't know who this lady is, but there's a cute like tomboy gunner person, and then there's him. Let me guess, is he a 5-star? Kill me. Damn it. Yes, veins in the quote, unquote. Oh, I lost chat jumped. Yes, Varen is the quote unquote best character in the game. She basically is the Bennett of the game. Who is that? Is that the white hair girl with the like little shit on her forehead, a little scribble? I hate that, by the way, the scribble like sound beat essentially. I love the gourd. I was much more a bigger fan of the gourd on the hips than this fucking squiggle on everyone's arm. Okay, so we got a red-headed dude who's got pistols. How dare you stand where he stood, looking like a Dante with his ebony and ivory grenades, and you got a bat wing, and yet you have red hair? Corny. If he didn't have the red hair, I would accept it. If he had white hair, I'd be into it. It's like it would be like a Dante collab thing, but instead, nothing. Lone says, Chia is actually a free character, Grin, and I agree she's cool. Oh, the right-handed gunner person. Nice. Actually, Grin, healers are no good, are not good, and are ranked low mainly because the end game everything one-shots you everywhere now. I've not sure how much of that is true. We'll see. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. From what I heard, I've heard a person say that like it's nice to have this one character because she's a really good healer, and I wonder if why. Maybe that was what the point was. It's not that healers are good, but that she is good because she maybe gives you like a barrier or like a shield that can let you tank one shot. I don't know. It was something like that. A healer that was pretty good in that way. I don't know. Anime fan says, "Oh yeah, I'm wondering if people can record on PS and upload that." Yeah, you can. Yeah, everyone has that. Yeah, on PlayStation 4, you just have to link your YouTube account, and you can absolutely do that. Forward it to that. I'm recording on mobile because I don't have any PC. Yeah, I know you definitely could just use your PS5, PS4. PS5 I think probably would work better because it's a little more tanky of a thing. But yeah, absolutely, you just upload it right to YouTube. Yeah. If you just had to have like a mic equipped, and if you have a decent like mic coming through, it would be nice. But if you just want to upload clips, that also works too. You can also edit, funnily enough, on your PS5. Fluff says, for console recording, you usually need a capture card. You can potentially, not anymore, Fluff. Surprisingly, there's like a lot. Well, it depends. If you want like the best gameplay possible, and it's the most reason why people use capture cards is because it's able to you're able to get the raw gameplay separated from everything else. But I think you can like clip something. Like I think that's what Lone did when he showed us his Deathverse videos. I think he just recorded them on his console and then uploaded them straight to YouTube from there, I thought. Although I do just know there's people who do just upload like YouTube videos straight up off their PS4 onto YouTube. I don't know if it does well because usually the standard for like content is so high that you need to like add a voiceover, you need to add like gameplay, you need to have a point to the video, you know. Unless you're just like it's a great gameplay clip, then yeah, then it could do really well. But still, then people usually like add music and stuff like that over that, which I think you can do on PS5. So, Lone says, "What characters are you talking about, Grin? Varen is the small healer girl. I don't know. It was this person. Do I still have that video pulled up? Let me see. I'll try to find it. So I want to react to these characters, but yeah, I don't want to leave chat behind too. Is it this? Was it this one or was it this one? I think it was this guy, Braxophone, which I know people. He's big in the one community and the Genshin community. But where was this clip? This is him talking about gorillas kicking ass, taking names. Where was this character that he was talking about that was really good? Wasn't this? I think it was right around here. Was it her? It might have been her. I don't know if this was who he was talking about with the healing. It might have been her. I thought she had white hair. My brain is just selective, man. He said you got her for free by playing the game. God damn it. God damn it. I thought it was somewhere here. Or he was like pretty baffled that they're giving away this character for free, but it's like a really good healer. Maybe it was her. Maybe that was it. I don't know. This one. I think it was her. Or either that or she's the best damage dealer. This person. This was the person. That's what's happened. She has white hair. The other girl has green hair. But they're both really good. And that's what the point was. So that's why I got confused. Okay. I was wondering, why my brain remember white hair? Because there's another character like that apparently is really good. Anyways, that's what I was referring to. She's one of the standard 5 stars. Yeah. Maybe that's what he meant. Like, you can just get her that way. But I wonder why he pointed out her being good. Consuming thermal bullets, tap that to enhance normal. Ooh, that's kind of fun. And she's just a normal character we all have access to. I'm not sure what my team will be alone. My team is most likely going to be reroll. Reroll until I get at least one 5-star right at the hop, and then dump all my other points into the standard banner so that I can get the 50 point pull, and then choose whichever other 5-star base that I want, and then I'll build from there. We'll see what fate gives me. Okay. What was good, Bolty? Lone says, Varen provides attack boost and damage boost, can heal and revive. Okay, so that's what it is. Oh, shit. Okay. I like this character quite a bit. Damn it, my brother keeps texting me when we're streaming. Kills me every time. But yes, what do you call it? This one might be the one I do. God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, I'll take them with that. Okay, at least I keep looking away. But the one character I don't really like, this one, Yang something, I hope she's not as good as she seems, but this one I think I like a lot. This one I like the idea of, like, I've always liked the mage classes. It's one of the things I regret is, like, the ideal start for me in Genshin would have been Yanfei. I loved her combat so much, and she seemed like just the right amount of damage and just so good. I love the way she played about, like, attack, attack, charge, attack, attack, charge, and it just felt so good because you're dropping like hammers. It was great. Oh, Shauna, she is a very good cryo DPS, and she is a force. Oh, is that what it is? I gotta watch a couple tier list videos because I don't really get it. What was the character that you said that I think I know which one you'll choose, Grin? Hit me with that. Why? Typecast me. Fluff says I haven't seen many characters I resonate with so far. Yeah, I don't dislike some of them. What do you call? I like the one Tom Burger with the guns. I think that's rad. I like the like as much as the one dude with the spear. The dragon person looks sick. I love like the guy who's like using the dragon head to like beat up people. The ice girl looked really cool too. So I find a couple for me that I think looks neat. Is co-op similar to Tower Fantasy? I don't know. But there's a big incentive to, like, we were talking about beforehand. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it, but basically you can infinitely farm artifacts, kind of, which is really neat. I do like how the characters visually pop from the dark environment, but the weapons choice and fighting style leaves much to be desired from it. Yes and no. I think like you're able to feel how you feel, but I also think that like the level of attacks and the movement and all the effects and stuff like that, I think far exceed Genshin in a big way. Like as far as they're like that there's like a massive ice effect. This is awesome. This character's awesome. Is it the character that we could maybe get? This is a 4-star. You're telling me? She looks pretty. I love the fucking sharp, fucking ice. I don't know why. That looks sick. That looks so pretty. And I think she's a free character we're all gonna get. So that's huge. And this is the Reddit. This is the Redditor essentially. With the fedora man, people are making fun of. But it sucks that he's a boxer because I love the hand-to-hand combat type stuff. Anime fans, I usually take DPS over everything in games. I even made an OP build for Strand Hunter. Ooh, yeah, DPS is good, but also, man, in these games, supports usually carry you. But I don't know. The one was telling me that there's a pretty high time to kill with these endgame bosses, so like there may not be any use for support characters. It might be all support DPSs, which makes sense. Boldy says co-op would be the only reason I play another gacha game with you guys again. I think there's co-op. There definitely is co-op. I just don't know if it's gonna be like Genshin where it's like there's no real reason to do co-op. Lone says Yang Yang is an arrow DPS. Ooh, what's an arrow DPS? Is that like it's not spelled like arrow? Oh, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Oh, this one might be my pick. I never would have thought, but that looks pretty neat. Big ass revolver, looks pretty good too. Reminds me of Albedo in a weird way. Like a grown-up version of Albedo who decided, guns are lit. Okay. Oh, when you go through your thing. Okay. Also, he looks like he's almost like a support as well, because he looks like he can put down a decoy. Cheeky little glasses. He definitely looks like a cool wind mage, which is awesome. I think this one might be my number one. That one might be the first one I want. Wind. Oh, Aro is window. Okay. Am I saying, is that supposed to be Animo and I'm misreading it? Anyways, that one, Lone, I'm not, Lone, what was the one you said I would like the most? Because that one, I think that's the top of my leaderboard right now. Also, I just love wind magic in general. Generic sword. Also, we don't have guns in Genshin, so, or not really. I mean, there's probably some, but like, not really. That looks like a gun. I can't wait to use that. Okay, there's like a charge attack. I mean, Hunter in DPS class anyways, and Strand innate's overpowered and overturned compared to rest of the sub. Oh, really? I didn't know Strand was that poppin'. Shit. God damn it. Gotta get that goddamn class soon. And then there's like seasonal things that are gonna go away. I don't know if I like this one too much. It's like slow. It's also very generic. She's got like a sword. Is this the... This is the yeah, Rover. Yeah, this is the apparently people were saying it's incredible because in this game the base subclasses or the base like non 5-star characters, the one like your main character is actually amazing. They have like CC abilities and they basically make it so that your cooldown for your ult comes back faster. So you might use them all the way up until endgame, just bog standard, which is cool. Yeah. Lone says Cheltron is the standard 5-star I think you'll like. Who's that? Is that the guy we just seen? No, it wasn't. What did Lone say we were like? Oh, is it this guy, the first one? No. Where? This one. Lone thought we would like this one the most. Yeah, it's Sephiroth. I don't hate him. I don't yeah, it's just not quite, it didn't really speak to me. Like, you know, it's just a generic melee move. I feel like I like the spear guy much more just because I have spears in video games. I like spears in everything. Spears are cool. Regardless, yeah, the one that to me stands out, the one I think, I'm not sure if it's going to be on the standard banner. Probably going to take a couple months to get through because I don't think they're all going to be available. But is this one a 5-star, Lone? Because I want my main character vibe, and this guy has the main character vibe. He looks better than the main character. I don't like the glasses. The glasses are kind of cringe, but hey. Anyways. When he activates the ult, he puts on shades, and I'm like, we can stop. we don't need that. And slapping it into the video, honestly, I might sound terrible to say, but all these games just look the same. Yeah, no, again, for sure. I mean, I don't want to play this game now, but all the like tower defense games and all that stuff look very similar to me as well. But yeah, definitely genres kind of encapsulate each other. So it's easy to achieve. Chelro is the standard 5-star I think you'll pick. It's the main reason I am looking forward to ZZZ over Genshin. Like, there's never a repeat concept with a limited weapon pool. What do you mean, Fluff? Looking forward to ZZ over Genshin. Like, there's never a repeat concept with a limited weapon pool. Well, that's actually, I think, what do you call it? Lone was telling me that the weapon pool is a little more different now. Like, there's the weapon pool genuinely seems really good. But yeah, like the whole gotcha system in this game seems really unique. Before you judge it, maybe look into it, because I'm not sure. Maybe it is shitty, but from my understanding, I thought it was much more, like a much more free-to-play friendly approach to that. But again, we don't know. Again, I always hate speaking about that kind of stuff specifically, because oftentimes when you play more of the game, you're like, oh shit, no, this is the way they're still making a shit ton of money, but by doing this and that, you know. But for me, man, right now, I like the air guy, I like the ice girl, and I think I'll go with the supports just because I think I need to survive to some extent. And as far as the fire, I don't know. And why I like Tower Fantasy and Teaser Extra Honkai, and why I liked Tower Fantasy and the lesser extent Honkai Star. Okay. I'm just seeing the similar problem with Genshin had. We've got katanas, sword users, gun users, first weapon, something aka catalyst. I mean, well, I don't know. That doesn't make the most sense to me. Yeah, I feel like you're entirely able to feel how you want to feel, for sure, all that stuff. But that's weird to me because there's so many like Genshin. When we first started playing Genshin, there was like Claymore, Catalyst, kind of, not really. Some were mostly not Catalyst. Bow, kind of. And yeah, but like even though there was these weapon types, there's no one who's really able to maximize the use of them. You know, like there was usually like the spear DPS guy was there, and you know, so and so. But yeah, I don't know what else you would want, because what you just listed sounds like a lot. That's why I'm kind of like, Or like, I want a scythe, and I also want axes, and I want dual axes, and I want. You're like, okay, well, I think we can get there, for sure. But yeah, but yeah. Lone says, but Grin, can you guess what 3-star I'ma pick? For sure I know. 100% know. Easy. Fluff says, ZZ, every character has their own weapon type. Yeah, but that's crazy to me, because then you only get one weapon type, right? Like, I think the one guy has pistols, and then the other dude has, there's also just significantly less volume. Like, if the developers wanted to be like, yeah, we'll just pick, like, 8 characters, and then they'll give them all unique different weapons. Yeah. But this one, like, you can get a new weapon that looks extra flashy 2 seasons later, and it be exponentially nice, you know? Sword, broadsword, gauntlets. Oh, there's gauntlet, I know that. Guns, receiver, and weapon. Okay. It just adds more unique animations over time. Tower of Fantasy achieved that by merging the weapons with the characters. Oh yeah, I see. Okay, so maybe your problem is that basically you're saying, I'm not really sure. To me, maybe you're saying that, like, because in Tower of Fantasy, you basically anyone could use any weapon. So the weapon was basically just the ability set, and the character you could just tack on to anything. Really, I think that's how it worked. I don't know. Every character in Tower of Fantasy and ZZZ use unique weapons. Yeah, but they're also very similar to some extent, are they not? I always thought, like, in Tower of Fantasy, you're like, oh, that's like a revamp of, like, the sword. This is like the same martial hits, but instead they're adding like, you know, what do you call it? Ice skates on it, so, you know. You said scythe? I see Ruby Gloom. What do you mean, like Ruby, like what do you call it? Ruby from, like, that anime, or different thing? Lone says 3 characters, not 3 stars. Oh, what do you mean? Did I misread something? Sorry, Lone. There's so much comments. Today, if I butcher some comments, just correct me, because there's so much comments happening. Like the guy has sword, but actually it is just a spear when he fights, when he could just have a spear. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, that's a little fair. To me, I also think, though, like, to me, just with how much, like, if we were to contrast ZZZ with this game has what seems like an infinitely more complex artifact system, where you're actually, like, deploying a unique ability when you're actually using your artifact system, as well as you can farm it on your artifact systems. You can have 3 characters. Oh, no, ZZ, you can also have 3 characters, but you also have a gigantic map. You also have, like, collectibles all over that map. You have quests, and you, I believe, have 3 activities that you can do. And then you have, I think, what looks like around, like, I don't know how many. It looks like 16, 15 characters. There's quite a lot there, where, like, if you were to condense all that down and you were to basically do exactly what ZZZ did, I feel like they could achieve more. Like, basically, if we look at the value of both and what they've basically done with what they've had, I think this game, to me, seems like a much more, like, oh, I'd rather have, in the future, maybe go get a spear character or a spear loadout, and have the open world and have all the other things, rather than ZZZ basically, it seems like spending all their budget, which is cool, on characters and weapon loadouts, like the minigun and such. But for me, this main thing that I'm excited for this game is that it seems like it's more, there's more going on. Where, like, I feel like when I look at ZZZ, I feel like it's just going to be a very similar. I think I love it still, because it just looks exceptionally, like, pretty. It's stylized, looks fun. But it worries me a little bit when it comes to, it looks like it's just going to become the same thing of, like, I can just play this with my brain completely off. I can just button smash for 20 years and switch to characters, and it'll be done, and that'll be it. Where this one, it looks like there's, like, at least the prospect of being able to, like, parry and dodge. There's things to, you know, if I don't like that, if I really hate the combat for whatever reason, I could explore the world. I could go do the story. I could what do you call it, level up my artifacts so that I can do less of the actual, you know, countering if I really hate that. So that, to me, is what I'm getting out of this game. So I don't know, to me, like, as far as I'm kind of excited for ZZZ, but to me it doesn't look like it looks like a MiHoYo game, basically. It looks like a MiHoYo game where you're just gonna get in there, hit some buttons, and it's done. Which is not bad, by the way. Like, everyone, I like that game too, but that's what I'm craving right now is that. So if I ever feel like I'm not exactly as excited for ZZZ, it's just that to me this game speaks to what I wanted. Essentially, this is like the answer in a lot of ways from what I was frustrated with Genshin with. The gun from that anime. Yeah, the scythe. Yeah, Ruby's like weaponry from Monty Ohm creating all that shit is insane. He's such a brilliant guy. It's too bad he had to pass away. Too bad he passed away. Like no other character in ZZ has the same weapon. A weapon like Ben, which is a big. Yeah. No, I definitely don't. I think ZZ should get its credit about making unique weapons. I just don't know if like the value that this game has for the extent of the weapons that it has, the beautiful animated effects that it has, the open world and stuff like that. I feel like that's also, to me, like I'd rather this than that. You know what I mean? So it's not that I think it's better so much as I think it's. I'd rather that one, I guess. And TOF had transformer weapons from playstyles from like yeah, that's true too. Again, both those games had really cool things. Although I also no, they had them definitely there at a base too. So I guess that was just what they had at the very launch. Boldy says, "Okay, the girl is my favorite now. Which one? Which one? Just from the cutscene, which character?" My problem with Genshin and Wuthering Waves is that the weapons themselves are just stat sticks. I don't know if that's fair to say yet, but yeah. I mean, I don't know how that's not every game. That's why I'm kind of confused, because like I feel like in every game, every weapon is a stat stick. You know, like in this game, it seems like your combos, your dodging, your perfect dodging. You also have like a special alt ability. Yeah, it just feels like a very, I don't know, I just like a criticism I don't understand, because I feel like every game has a stat scaling weapon. Everyone, like I haven't played any game that's like this, like an RPG of sorts that is a stat scaling type of weapon or type of game. Fluff says that they don't change much, if anything, to the gameplay themselves. The gameplay shows here is a primary example where every sword wielder character is the exact same model. ZZ has parrying and dodging system, certain characters at least. Yeah, I get it. Maybe I've seen some gameplay of ZZZ, but the comparison between this is the worst example to compare gameplay to. This is where no boss is fighting back. This is you hitting a lump of meat, essentially, and just showing that like this is the combos that they have, and this is what their overall gameplay would kind of look like as far as fighting a non-enemy. But this is a very weird. This is not a good example, I think, of it. If we put ZZZ gameplay over top of this and then contrast it with a boss fight in this game, I think it would be like the complete contrast ever of like you're shooting a boss, you're melting him, you're switching characters, you're hitting the enemy again, and then this one where you have to dodge, you have to iframe, you have to do all these things. We'll see. Again, maybe I just haven't seen the right gameplay for ZZZ, but I have seen. So just like generally as like a surface level understanding of both of those games. This game to me seems way more combat unique and intensive than ZZZ. I will say ZZZ has style. ZZZ definitely has unique characters and like Fluff saying, unique weapon loadouts, I guess, that we haven't seen before. We definitely have seen them before, like dual gun, dual pistols. The giant, the big Bonkai stick is a little bit different. I haven't seen a lot in games. But there's definitely the generic assault rifle characters. There's definitely the generic, person I think who has I forget what the girl with the pink tails has, but yeah. Oh, I like this character too. This one's Ice. I gotta look at the list of like what are the 5 stars, because I don't know what 5 stars like the one that I want to build around, which is usually how these games work. Fluff says, I'm not going to be surprised when you burn out on this in a similar manner to Genshin. Yeah, probably. Could probably happen, but that could be said for anything. I'm like, Fluff, that'd be the greatest blessing I could ever have. I played Genshin for 2 years straight. Like, more than I played any other game ever in my entire life. I played an amazing game, Dragon's Dogma 2, for like a month and a half, and I enjoyed the shit out of it, but at the end of it, I started to get burnt out as well. So yeah, to me, I would be thrilled if it could last even an eighth as long as that. Because if I have fun playing it, then I'm having fun playing it. Anime Fan says, when and if I make a game like this, I would. You mean play or you mean make? You're planning on making a game, or you mean probably just mean play? But if you did make a game, that'd be sick. I would make every type of weapon and have them have actual stats like daggers, have no reach, but fast attack, and scythes has lots of reach and good combo. Yeah, I feel like it's a good. Yeah, sure. Like everyone would love that. There'd be a part of me that just wonders though, because I feel like it's would be way harder than it seems to pull those things off. You know. Also, I think we get an idea for the characters. I'm just gonna throw up one of the other gameplay things I have. I don't know. Is this one different? No, it's co-op. This one is made by Braxophone, but 90% of the video is him thirsting after characters, so you're just gonna have to see him with, yeah. This might be weird. This one might be a little weird. So if you see weird zooms, that's why. Okay. Yeah, but I really love the idea of like having like what do you call it, deeper combos. To me, what I want is to have a feeling of like fulfilling gameplay. That's it. Fluff says, haven't played ZZZ and enjoying the gameplay loop for more than their open world gacha games. Yeah. I wonder if I think I would like it too. To be fair, I don't think I'd dislike ZZZ. It's just unfortunate to see there's still 5 base weapon types like Genshin, Withering Waves, and the opportunity to time interval expand upon the idea that yet they just provide to be Genshin with a different art style. I don't think that's fair at all to say. To me, like it's like Genshin, when it first came out, when it first launched, had the Claymore, the bow, the catalyst, and a shitty sword. Yeah, that's it. And this game, to me at least, already right at the hop, is having much more bang for its buck than Genshin ever did at its launch. I feel like it's unfortunately, it's a really unfortunate. People are judging this game, to me, really quickly. And again, same thing happened to Tower Fantasy. Like I wish people judge this game as it is. Or what it is. I don't understand or like not understand the idea of comparison totally, but to me, it looks nothing like Genshin as far as the gameplay is concerned. Like yes, maybe there's anime, maybe there's particle effects, but like when I see them taking on bosses and stuff like that, when I see them talking about the artifact stats, yeah, to me it's one of those things. I hope you eat your words, Fluff. I hope I'm right about this game and you're wrong, but maybe you're right and maybe I'm wrong. But here's hoping that I'm right, because I would love to have an anime game I enjoy again. One that's not supported by a company that I've already seen do dog shit things. And yeah, so it's kind of how I feel. I still feel very bitter and very frustrated. And I'd rather take a chance on a new, seemingly, non-scummy, but possibly scummy in the future, or scummy right now, company. I would rather not support the company that to me, never, took a shit ton of my money, and also I gave a shit ton of money, and also it just never became the game I wanted. Is that partially my fault? Probably, but it's still my choice to not support MiHoYo, and I kind of would like to keep it that way. But maybe ZZ is such a good game, and it's completely different than Genshin. But I still look at all the things in like Star Rail, which I see, and I think it looks improved, but it still looks like the same kind of pain that I experienced in Genshin, where yeah. Also, what did Lone say? I think it was Lone. Lone said, we have a total of 7 to 5 stars in Withering Waves. And being the standard 5 stars, which are Zhang's, Charla, and Encore, Varen, and Lina, and 2 limited 5 stars so far. So Lone, are all the characters that we've seen in the previous gameplay trailer, are all of them in the game, or is this one of those things where like eventually as time goes on things are gonna pass, or like they're gonna add more to the pool? Like the next month banner is gonna be the one guy, or is it all that in the game flat? Because that's pretty cool if it's all in there flat. Although I suppose Diluc was in there at the beginning of Genshin as well. And yet Tower of Fantasy had a unique weapon for every character, because the weapon and characters were one and the same, rather than this girl uses the same weapon your starting character uses. Yeah, but isn't there a crossover then? Because then you could basically like give your one. There's like a positive and a negative to that. It's not just negative. Like if I got a really good weapon, let's say the sword, and I have a new character comes down the pipeline and they happen to have a sword again, then I'm like, cool, I didn't just burn all my materials on this sword. I can give it to my next character and they'll still have a power gain. Whereas in Tower of Fantasy, weren't you just kind of share luck? You're like, oh, well, I leveled up that weapon, so now I'm kind of just fucked, you know? So there is a positive to having a character level up system and also having them share the same weapon archetype. Yeah, okay. I don't know if, yeah, but Fluff says, Fluff says Genshin still has a catalyst bow, a spear, and sword. Yeah, but I don't know if I feel like that's fair. Like, yes, technically that's true, but there's still so many like characters that basically embrace so many other weird type of weapon archetypes. It's like them trying to basically solve the problem of like leveling up your thing, without having to like detonate like or destroy the whole pool. Like, to me, it always made sense the way Genshin went about the way they implemented weapons. Instead of saying like, okay, here's a new big weapon archetype, which maybe most people prefer, they're like, no, let me just make this one character that has a special E ability that converts the way they attack in a certain way. The issue I have is that it was always like on a cooldown for 30 seconds, so you would never be able to actually experience it. If you could actually like pivot from like, you turn on the sword gameplay, which has shorter range, has its own combat attack, but then you could hit a button and then permanently stay on the spear for as long as you want, and if you just wanted to rock spear combos, you could. If you wanted to kind of mix and mash them and switch between, that would be a good way to do it, I think. So that was my criticism with it. It wasn't necessarily that there was like a sword that acted as a spear. It was just that there was a limited time access point to that spear. Because to me, it's like, well, I still get to play with my spear. You know, I still get to play with my guitar. I still get to play with my whatever stamp if you're Yenfei. Bolty says, the red hair girl, I mean, but similar. No, yeah, it's funny because that red hair girl is what everyone's thirsting after, Bolty. You got your mind plugged into the collective. Fluff says, I see the same gameplay loop from Genshin. Near identical UI design. The only unique factor is the monster catalyst system, and I doubt it would be enough to carry this game for years. We'll see. Again, to me, I never wanted this game. I would hate this game to be like completely unfamiliar with. I think Tower Fantasy went a little bit too far in the direction of like random shit. That I'd like, to me, I don't know if I feel like they eventually got to the point where they were trying to be different for the sake of being different, rather than being like, I just want to make the best experience possible. I want to make something that works the best, is the most optimal and best bang for your buck for the people who want these kinds of games. And yeah, to me, this is what I want. So I don't think this is where I'm at a very big crossroads where I like a Fluff, I think, wants something that I definitely don't. Where we're in a completely different impasse. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I thought you'd be excited for this game, but apparently not even a little bit. But yeah, what do you call it? To me, I want a game that is like Genshin, very similar to Genshin, but without the shitty dumbness of not having an endgame. I actually enjoyed Genshin. I still enjoy playing Genshin. What I dislike is the fact that there's hollow meaninglessness when you play it because there's no endgame content. There's no reason for you to get stronger. There's no nothing. The reason why I left Genshin, for me personally, it was also because probably I was playing this game way too much. We were playing it for like 3 years in back to back. But yeah, to me, the main thing I left it with was because it was never, 2 years in, it never became the game that we wanted it to eventually evolve into, which is to have a deep end game and to have more than just running around the map finding shit. And this game, seemingly, at least within its couple, it has 3 game modes that already seem like they're kind of trying to, it seems like an actual endgame content type of loop. And they seem like there's ways to get to endgame with relative speed. That to me is all much more exciting. I get it. They need to have a reason to dump money and time into pulling for new characters. I just don't see why there's no need for a gacha style for a weapon as well. Yeah. I mean, I think it's always the same thing. It's basically like a gameplay loop that you can eventually play with. Alone says, I feel like a child, even irrespective of money. I think it's like there's a way to, like, it's like like in Borderlands, we just farmed for a weapon to drop. In this game, it's like, no, you wait a couple months for your new content thing to drop. I feel like Child was a perfect example of characters in Genshin, although in his weapon was a bow. His skill was the different stance. Yeah, I didn't dislike Child's as well, but I wish that they let you permanently play with his daggers and not like forced to be able to have to play with his bow, etc. Only problem with the cooldown. Yeah. So you said something. Yeah. And Child also is a prime example of Genshin's weapon system is limited beyond reason. Every game has its limits without constant updates. Yeah. Again, that's one of the things I enjoy. Well, again, that's also one of the things I have against MiHoYo a little bit, is that there were no shortage of updates. There were just no interest in wanting to provide what a subsect of the community deeply wanted. And it seems like that portion of the community wasn't nobody. It was a massive portion of the community who deeply wanted those things. They painted themselves into a corner with the limited scope of 5 weapon types, and only in the last year or so are they actually expanding most new characters to ignore whatever weapon type use being equipped. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know they're changing stuff like that. That's neat. Yeah. That would be one thing that's cool to see for this game, if they, within the first like 5 months, they added a different weapon type just to show that they're open to doing that. That'd be a really nice goodwill thing. Again, I don't really dislike the idea, because to me, like, it's a system that I understand why people don't like it, but it could be a good thing. Or like, it could be a good thing that, oh, I lucked out and got a 5-star spear to drop. Fantastic. There's a new character coming out that happens to have a base weapon of a spear, but he's actually a fast dagger attacking character that I can just hit a button, he changes stances, he permanently is in the stance that I want for as long as I want, and then I can switch between both of those type of combos, the spear combo and the dagger combo, freely to do like crazy combos or whatever it may be. And yeah, and that'd be like a really nice useful thing if you happen to have an OP spear. And yeah, like that to me can be a nice end to that system. Granted, again, most of them unfortunately put time limits on stuff, even though it's weird because you still merge stuff in like 2 seconds. But he says a full price gacha game with no in-game transactions would be kind of, dude, that's everyone's like that's everyone's fantasy essentially, is to have like a gacha game in theory without actually having it be like a complete glutton for your wallet. But with that being said, though, again, people give like certain gacha games a shitty credit a little bit. Again, you don't have to spend a ton of money into a game like a gacha game to be happy. Like, there's people who are not us, who I imagine we're a little bit more busy than most people as far as being adults, and more or less, or close to adulthood, wherever you guys are at. But yeah, I think that's a big thing. Yeah, big thing. Where like, if we were all younger and we were playing these games, we could just dedicate tons of hours to grinding. That's awesome. The only issue is most gacha games don't let you do that. This game at least has something where I think you could play it for a lot longer if you wanted, which is neat. I still don't understand that gameplay loop, though. I think it's like jumping and just you're basically farming bosses and getting the right legendary type of artifact, which is nice. You still have to roll it to get good stats, but still. Fluff says Grand Blue Fantasy Relink sort of has the idea from what I saw both. Ooh, I didn't know that. Neat. Like, you just play the game in its similar way to like Diablo, and just have fun and co-op. Yeah. That's I think a lot of people's ideal. Massive roster of characters, but it's still a full-priced action RPG. Yeah, I think I seen Grand Blue Fantasy, and I thought it looked neat, but it still looked like it was. Again, it seems like it's always one of those catch-alls where it's just like budget, where you're like, oh, we're gonna invest this much money into this, and then what do you call it? Yeah. Have to pull back basically, or like we put all the money into like having all these cute characters, and now the gameplay looks a little bit like floaty and like damage numbers, like you're spending 20 minutes shooting somebody, kind of thing. But these games just look the same. I don't mean gameplay. I mean the UI for. Oh yeah, no, yeah, but I don't know why. Again, if something works, why do we need to change it? Like, I actually quite like the Nub says. What do you call it? I mean the UI of these games look so similar. I mean, yeah, to me it's like I don't. I always hate when people are like, "Fuck it, change it just cause." I don't like to look at the same thing again. I'm like, but it works so well. I don't know. I get it. You don't want to look at the same thing and see similarity because it just looks like something you've seen before. But at the same time, I don't know. I really do enjoy the way you navigate through Genshin's menus. It's also there's probably a greater incentive for it to look this way because it is tried and tested to work on mobile, which is what this is mainly trying to be after. Fluff says, sadly, even the likes of Diablo 4 and has sold the idea of full-fledged game with the single price. If Lone says, if you get into gacha games as a kid, that would be a miserable experience. Not getting the character I want. I don't think. To me, I would love the idea that you're basically able to play for such long hours at a time, especially with your friends. I guess with some gacha games, there's always the resin system. But I know a lot of people who played Genshin just actually just as a hub game, which is annoying that Mihoyo didn't maximize that as well. Where like, oh, if people just join this game to like run around the world with their friends, it'd be cool if we had like places where you could sit, play poker, and do all these fun things. They have a little bit of stuff like that, but it's usually through events. Also, ladies and gentlemen, before I lose track of it, let's talk about some of the things I put in the title of this. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the gameplay of not gameplay, sorry, the trailer, not the trailer. Xbox, Jesus, the Xbox news. I talked about this kind of on and off. I don't know, you guys probably don't care at this point. It's also old news. But Xbox basically closed Arcane, which is the maker of Dishonored. It's kind of shitty. I love Dishonored, so I hope that it's one of those things where they still have the IP for Dishonored, so it's still possible for them to make a sequel. Granted, it is also one of those things where you're like, yeah, last time they rebooted a game like Prey, it was basically nothing like the original Prey. So, yeah. It was still a good game, but it was just nothing like the original Prey. Anyways, so we'll see how that works. But the main thing that's such a bummer and that everyone's super depressed about is that the best game of last year, which is Hi-Fi Rush, holy shit, man, that game got killed. The thing that's even worse is they were in development for a sequel of Hi-Fi Rush, and they got canceled. And people are like, what the fuck? Hi-Fi Rush won a Game of the Year award. It sold a bunch. You talked about how happy you were for its projections, and then basically they cancel. They destroy the studio that made it. The reason why people say that they did this is because there's a high chance that the talent that made Hi-Fi Rush actually left. So Xbox just didn't think they'd be able to replicate what they did in the first game. It's just such a bad look, is what people always say, because you basically destroyed the game that won Game of the Year. So it just creates a big feeling of unsettledness about if you worked for Xbox, about being it doesn't matter if you had the best game of all time, you still could get fired, and therefore I'm fucking leaving this job as soon as possible. So they're just gonna have a bigger flooding of content. Or a mass exodus of directors and people who make games wanting to fucking get out because they know that making a good game takes a couple of years and a couple of attempts. So it's shitty. It's one of those things where, yeah. And then Xbox said something else that was stupid, which is basically that they're super worried because the games growth essentially, or money has not grown. And it's just one of those things of of course, this is what the whole capitalistic, crazy, gluttonous machine type vibe is, which is just it's all about rising profits. It doesn't matter if you're already making trillions. It means nothing. You're a publicly traded owned company. Your investors want you to constantly grow. It's the only thing that vindicates you being publicly traded and being a $1 trillion company. Yeah, you're going to keep growing or it's shit. And to me, it's one of those things where it's man, it's just what a terrible system. Because eventually you're going to run out of capital space to be able to grow your thing. And the minute that you start doing that, you start cutting off whatever's not making $1 billion for you. It just sucks. It just feels yeah. And to me, I used to be one of those people who are oh, maybe this whole Game Pass thing makes a lot of sense. But the idea that Microsoft is never ever going to stop with this gluttony kind of I need more, I need more, I need more. There's no Game Pass is gonna be $30, man. Yeah, eventually they're gonna reach market cap for their initial audience. Of people who are interested in Game Pass, and then they're oh no, we need to keep making more money. So you think they're not going to increase the price tag exponentially every year, so they kind of keep saying that they're going to do that? It's just a shit thing. Yeah, to me, it's one of those things where it's oh, maybe I Phil Spencer a little too much, yeah, because he still has a boss above his head who's saying you need to make $5 trillion more next year, essentially. So it just made me be the gaming industry sucks, and whenever a huge acquisition of a company is done, it's just terrible. Also, it just sucks that Xbox got so many companies. Facebook did the same thing. Meta, did the same thing, where they just bought up a shit ton of companies, and yeah, it's just one of those things where it's you took a great company like Arcane, and got them. This is the funniest thing about Arcane. They were known for making Dishonored, a stealth game, and then they made a live service game with 4 hero type characters Like, it is the furthest conceivable thing away from Dishonored possible. It cannot make any sense that the devs or the developers who worked on Dishonored were like, yeah, that makes so much sense. Let's just do that. Let's just make a complete nothing like knowledge-wise game. They had to have had like a higher up director person be like, this is what you need to do. This is what people want. This is what we're willing to pay for. This is what we'll back you on. And then you get clipped. So like, not only is it annoying that they buy up these studios which are legendary, and then they basically hyper fixate on them making the game that they think will make the most profits, only for it to not. And then your reward for listening to management is fucking being fired or your name being burned. It's just like, don't let Xbox buy you. Or anybody, for that matter. Jesus. It's such a gloomy, depressing state for the gaming space right now. Like, I don't know, man. It's funny because there's only, like, in retrospect, there's a lot of companies that are constantly being closed, every year. But this was done in such a way that left so many people, like, baffled. Like, how stupid, how dumb can this be? You know, like, this is all just a nightmare. Only Arcane Austin was shut down, not all of Arcane. Okay, well, does that? But isn't Arcane Austin also the people who are responsible for Dishonored? Arcane Austin last game was Redfall, so it's not much of a surprise. So it's shut down, even if it's yeah. But see, that's also the thing that people aren't talking about, man. Like, Microsoft Phil Spencer came out on a podcast and said, like, we're really sorry about this happening. It's not up to snuff. It's not what Xbox desires to do. We make good games. We don't know how this happened. We kind of let this get away from us, and we're so sorry. We're going to stay with it. We're going to support it. We're going to pull this back from the brink. We're not going to make you dissatisfied as a customer. We're going to figure this out. We're going to work this out. Didn't do any of that. So, like, to me, it's just I've never went from, like, Xbox could be a good future to fucking what the shit, man. Like, just absolute shit show. You never fucking paid that off at all. At all. Despite you said you were, it would be one thing to say, like, hey, we're going to do our best, you know, we're going to grow from this. No, they were like, we are going to deliver you a product that is going to be better in a couple months. Just let us work. And nothing happened. They even talked about, like, maybe making the, like, Redfall not always having to be online, which would have been huge because I paid for the game. It would have been cool to actually have it for, like, 2 years down the line because, honestly, Redfall was bad, but it wasn't that bad. It was still, like, a unique vampire experience, which not a lot of games have. So, yeah. I would have loved to play that in 2 years, and even just shit on the game would have been fun. But now it's just like a dead thing. And, yeah. Phil Spencer was PR damage control. Well, yeah, I know, but it doesn't change the fact that the same thing happens for Anthem. Like, don't yeah, it's just like you're all scumbag pieces of shit. You know, yeah. Anime fan says, I'm gonna go get a drink. My phone is a load, so I'll try. Got it, Anime fan. Fluff says Arcane Leon was the studio behind Dishonored, Deathloop, and support working on. Okay. So yeah, so they're not the ones. Okay, good. So we still could get another Dishonored. Okay, that's at least a silver lining. That's nice. So I thought it was all of Arcane that was going away, but no. Arcane Austin did Prey and Redfall. Oh, okay. So that makes a little more sense than like I still think it's weird. I don't think they would have chosen to do Redfall, but hey. Fluff says the scummiest part of the shutdown was Tango after the success of Hyper Rush recently released it on PlayStation. Yeah, that sucks. So they don't even get to like experience the Phil Spencer with the PR mode, damage control. Phil's boss in the investors are the only ones making these. I know. It doesn't. That's not. But it's still one of those things where it's like every promise that person could make, like whether it's Phil Spencer being like, "Hey, it all just means nothing to me now," like zero. Like if he were to at least be like come out, like even I think they had an opportunity to do like they did like a interview basically talking to like the heads of Xbox, and even if they were able to be like, hey, explain like this was the issue, we have to make cuts, this came up from decisions on high, in order for us to be a successful business we have to do these things, and these were one of the things we chose to cut. It sucks. I did tell you that we'd bring back Redfall, but we're not. Like, at least if there was some aggression, but the fact that they basically hid from that, I think the same thing about Xbox now that I think about EA. After I experienced Anthem, where they basically just, like, completely disconnected the game after saying that they were going to work through it, that they were going to do all that stuff. Even if it's damage control, it's still, like, you're a liar. Like, you're the worst kind of liar. You're the liar who not only fucks up, then tries to push beyond this, but then you never ever make amends with what you did wrong. Yeah. So to me, it's just like, if Phil Spencer does not deserve any grace, because he's beholden to a shitty bastard above him. Like, why would you trust the person who's killing kids, essentially? This is not the main guy Xbox killing kids. I'm just saying this is the prospect of, like, why would you trust someone who is being controlled by a person who we can tell has not even the slightest interest of gamers or people who play games at heart, or even developers, it seems like, at heart. Fluff says, it did sound like the most important creative that were part of Tango and developed Hi-Fi Rush had jumped ship before the studio was shut down. Yeah, no, again, if Phil Spencer came forward and said at least that, which was like, we thought a lot of the talent left, it's still one of those things where, like, I think the talent left 2 years before the game's release, and then I think they were ready to, like, kind of do something about the studio, but then they released the game on a whim, and then it ended up doing really well. But to me, like, the 2 years of the development team grinding through the project that these other people like left behind, to me is not like, it doesn't count for nothing. Like, it's crazy to me that the people who, like, grinded out that game and these fucking, like, big directors get all of the credit when it's all the shaping, the shading, the animations, all of that was done by all these other people, and these directors always get so much credit, which they deserve. They're like, they clearly have an act for, like, piecing together stuff. But the people that are the grunt workers who are piecing together stuff are also meaningful a lot. Yeah. The studios were working to improve the game up until the higher ups gave the sign to shut it all down. The studio and actually gave the devs aren't their liar. Wait, sorry. And the studios and actual game devs aren't the liar. No, I know. The game devs aren't. I'm talking about, like, but it's one of those things where it's like, yes, what do you call it? The game devs aren't at fault, but they're still like, you shouldn't trust them. Like, they're beholden to a person above them that could easily pull the rug out for them. So even though they may be saying, hey, I'll do right by you, like, buddy, you're gonna starve if you don't listen to the guy above you. I can't have maybe like 10% hope. I can have hope in you. I can have 100% hope in you. I don't know if I can have trust in you. I've seen this happen to so many of my beloved games. I saw it happen in City of Heroes, where the community manager that was streaming the game had to break the news as he received it, and the community manager was part of the NC Soft, but he loved the game and the community, so it was hard. Yeah, that's tough. I can't even imagine. That's gotta be one of the worst things to see and hear. Man. Yeah, that's one of those things. But the thing that always frustrates me is that, like, it's just boundless profit. It kind of kills me a little bit, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, it's not like these games aren't making money. It's not like they're not like making more a good amount of money to manage what they are, basically, to, like, vindicate them existing again, essentially. So, like, they're making enough money to be profitable, but it's not about being profitable. It's about being like 10x profitable. So it's one of those things that it's just annoying. Like, we could have had this, and we could have kept going with this. We could have took care of our people. We could have done all this stuff. But it's one of the differences between being like a $1 million company from a $1 trillion company is not wanting to do all this stuff and wanting to, like, razor sharp edge that stuff, cut when you need to cut, and all that stuff. Even though it's succeeding, it's not succeeding good enough. And it's just brutal. That's the thing that kills me, because it's not like these things weren't successful. Like, if you were an indie team having this level of success, you'd be like, fuck yeah, I'll do this for the rest of my life, you know? Flo says, and the community that heartbreaking. What expansion is next D2 stream is going to be related to? Ooh, I feel like I'm going to try to do some on my time. I said that last time and I fucked up because I'm just trying to edit these videos, and it's just that it takes so long to edit. But I want to do that, so I do want to also play Destiny 2, but I feel like on my time I'm going to try to push through Lightfall, because everyone says that's the worst expansion. I don't imagine you guys will enjoy seeing that on stream, so I would like to push through Lightfall just to be able to get Strand, because it sounds very fun and very OP, which I like. And then I'm going to try to just keep up with my weekly bounties. Maybe next week, depending on if I'm actually able to play Destiny consistently for any amount of time. I'll try to Well, we might start Witch Queen just so I have access to the because I'll probably try to do the Deep Sight Resonance. So I'll try to do the thing that Fluff's telling me to do, where he's telling me to do all of Lightfall's seasonal activity stuff that gives you a chance at like a weapon node, which is neat. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get Super Black. It just feels like it's gonna take such a grind. So I don't know. But we might do on Thursday season Witch Queen. We'll see. So I would like the glaive. Fluff says breaking even is never. No, I don't mean breaking even. I mean a lot of these companies are not just breaking even. I mean they're like genuinely succeeding. Like they are profitable, like significantly profitable, but not significantly enough. Like again, the extent in which you need to be successful is absurd to me. And especially when you get up to like titans of industry like Xbox, Activision, companies are $1 billion in valuation kind of things. Fluff says Lightfall has good gameplay, but the bumping the enemy's difficulty up too close to legendary even on normal. Oh really? Shit, that's not enjoyable. Oh god. Funny because I was enjoying like Destiny not seeming as like grindy and like shooting a health bar for 20 minutes. Bolty says I looked at the co-op of Grand Blue Fantasy Relink and I gotta say, in principle it sounds good, but I still find the co-op lacking. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a little bit of gameplay, but I think it was the same thing. Although I do think there's a lot of Grand Blue Fantasies that was coming out like in the last 3 years. So I think they maybe all merged together in my head. Anime Fan says, I can help you through Nightfall and Witch Queen. Probably Witch Queen. I think we'll do that on stream. You could jump in if you wanted. That'd be fun. Most anime / gacha adjacent games have a lackluster co-op, if at all. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, most of the time it's just to be like, hey, if you wanted to help your friends do a boss, you could. Anime Fan says, Witch Queen last mission is like last boss of Red War, but a bit worse. Oh no, that's not good. I didn't really like the Red War boss. It sucked. That was that was like Destiny 1's original campaign thing, right? Fluff says, I know I was saying what a publisher demands, not that studios should consider it still worth it. Oh, I see. I can help you run through it off stream if you need, Grin. It doesn't take terribly long to get through, just a few hours at most. Maybe the reason why I'm not sure is because again I didn't want to talk about it because I'd rather me do it and then talk about it. But I'm doing this YouTube thing where it's basically day 1 you brainstorm a bunch of ideas, day 2 you come up with titles and thumbnails for those ideas, day 3 you come up with the kind of like the story and setup of all of those ideas. Day 4 you go out and try to film all those ideas. This could take another day because sometimes it takes quite a lot to, you're supposed to come up with like 4 ideas and then to film all those ideas depending on how long it is. It could be a little bit time consuming. And then day 5, or no, is it day 4 or day 5? Or the next day, let's say day 5. Day 5 is about editing them essentially, and that can go for another 2 or 3 days. Yeah. And then basically day 6 is what do you call it? Go back to researching. So then you have like basically if you upload 2 videos a week, you have 4 videos. You basically have 2 weeks covered. So you have 2 weeks of being able to basically grind and do research and stuff like that, and you've covered those 2 weeks. The issue I'm finding is that editing part takes a lot longer. So it's not just like you edit in 2 days. You've edited all 4 of those videos. It's like, oh no, you edit 4 or 5 days, and now you have those 2 videos ready to rip. So yeah, so that's why I'm doing. That's why. So I'm basically backed up with editing. So I'm trying to like make ground and edit 2 videos this week. And if I can edit like 1 more by the end of Sunday, or by Monday, then that would be perfect. So I'm trying to do that stuff, but I'm also like, oh fuck, Destiny is like very what's it called? Destiny is very on the brink of like there's constantly reasons to go back and grind this out. So what it often looks like is I have like an hour at night before I go to bed where I'm like, fuck it, and I just kind of push through a little bit. I push through some Nightfalls, I push through some of my weeklies, and then I'm like, okay, and then I quickly go to sleep because I gotta edit in the morning, and then I do the same thing over and over again. So I'm trying to like keep these, like if I'm juggling, I'm trying to keep some of these balls in the air, I guess. And it's a bit of a struggle, but I don't know when I'm going to be on. That's the issue. So to me, where I'm like, I don't really want to, Discord message Fluff or Red or Raid or any of these people, because I may only have an hour, and even then, what do you call it? I might not even have a good hour. Like, it might be like an hour where I jump in and I have to immediately jump out, and then it's just this weird flakiness that I don't really enjoy. And I don't think it's fair for you guys to do it. That's why I like doing it on stream, because I know at least we're going to be here for the 2 hours, like, regardless. We're always going to do this every week. So at least then I can make use of that a little bit, you know? But yeah. But if I find a block of time where we can burn through it, I might do that. I might message you, Fluff, but I feel like more often than not, I'll probably just be like, I can only chip away at this, so I'll just do it like that, you know? But again, it's like, there's that, or there's like the weekly thing that you told me about like not wanting to let all of these daily important tasks by season not done, you know? Not to be done. Which queen is considered the best expansion? Yeah, that's why Witch Queen I would like to do on stream, because that seems like just people always say it's the best. You get an amazing grenade launcher at the end of that shoots worms. Is it like those little fast things I keep seeing squirt out of people? Yeeh. It's more like a cockroach that just kind of runs around and bites people's heels and explodes. Anime fan says that. Fluff says, obviously I'm offering if you have time to spare, Grin. I don't want to override your priority. Yeah, no, it's not that. I wouldn't consider that. To me, it's more of like there are all these other things I need to do, but I also want to try to chip away at this because I know it's important to do, because it's like getting ahead essentially in a game that I'm enjoying right now, so I want to do that. It's just one of those things where I'm like, damn, bad timing. Again, I need to get in the habit of making videos that are less. There's less. Like, I even thought I was doing that this time around, and then I find out that the video is like an hour long, and I have to kind of condense it into 20 minutes, and you're like, fuck. Shit, I just need to make like something that's super simple. Like I always get in my head about stuff being hyper complicated. Like, and I think it's gonna like do better. I don't know if it does. Like, to me, I wanted to make like a video that was showcasing what would a VR New Vegas be. And I thought, okay, let me download all of these mods that completely feed to that idea of creating this immersive feeling of what would that actually be to be able to use these weapons that we use in New Vegas in a PhysX sim, how powerful, how like strength could scale in a Fallout game, and how fun that could be. Only for me to be like, man, there's a lot of mods here. There's also even more like things to set up. There's also even more like little segments to add. When I could have just been, I could have been like, hey, becoming an NCR in Bonelab. I download an avatar mod. I download the the sniper mod. We go and do a map that is sniping, and I just talk over it, and I edit it down, and I upload it, and that's it. You know, it's a lot of people do, and that would be easy. That'd be done, and it may even be better because it's less complicated. It's 10 minutes opposed to 20. It's probably even less than that, probably 8 minutes. And yeah, I overcomplicate things because I think it gives more value, but it may just also make things more complex, which then may make things harder to understand and make things more foggy. I don't know, but it's, yeah. Yeah, I need to get better at finding that balance, I guess. I got a shower, BRB got it. We got both. The Fluff says, you can always ping me if you're squeezing in an hour or so when you're on and I'll play. Yeah, it's a good idea too. Yeah. Fluff says, it's not like the game would have rewarded me for my time spent. There's always gear bounties and other. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Anime fan says, I think so. Fluff says, that's the threading set from the strand. Okay, is that what I'm thinking of? Lone says, talk? What? Talk? What is that? Looks so cool. I like her playstyle. Which one? Which one was that? You can't do that to me, Lone. You gotta give me names. Oh, by the way, Lone, what do you call it? The ones I think you were gonna like for Tower of Fantasy were, what do you call it? I think you're definitely, you want this character, of course. Of course you don't want this one. It's like a cooler version of Bido, except not at all the playstyle, but just look. I think you're also going to want, I don't know if that one is your speed. Maybe that one, but I don't know. No. I know you love Final Fantasy. I just don't know if you love Sephiroth that much. And you're a woman man, so I don't know. This one's really cool, I'll be honest. That like kind of like tendril effect is pretty rad. Maybe that one. I think this one. Okay, so I think she's the second one. This lady, Baizu. I think Baizu is the second one. The third one you would choose, maybe that one. She looks a little basic. This one also, maybe that one. Damn. Definitely, I don't think you'd fuck with Fedora Man. She's a little too basic. I don't know. I think that's the third one. I think it's that one. I think those are your three. I think you would like Yinlin, this one. Is it this? Nope. Oh, this one maybe. No. Where the fuck is the one chick we just seen? Actually, this one maybe not the worst. This one. I think you choose Baizu. I can't think of a name, right? Baizai? Whatever. And then this one. Senha. That's the three that I think you would go with. That'd be your ideal, but I could be wrong. I don't know what any of their abilities are, so I'm sure that's what you're probably obsessed with. For me, my number one is not this one. This one. I like this person a lot. Looks like a cool version of Albedo, with two handguns, with wind magic, and it just looks like pistols and wind magic go so well together. So I want him. The other one I want is not Fedora Man, not her. Oh wait, is it her? Yeah, I think this is her. Yeah, I want this person. This is my second one, the Ice Queen, who's like throwing around these crazy shatter strikes, and looks crazy. And then the last one, which there was one that was, I think this one. It's either a toss-up between this person who like summons forth, like she's like a catalyst user essentially, and she has like that like actual AI that she fights with, but she doesn't look like she does a lot of damage, which means I don't know. I don't know if she's actually good. But I think she's neat. I didn't hate the tendril lady who was like a plant type, who like throwing off a bunch of crazy coral essentially at people. But also, there was where was it? Was it this one? This one I liked a lot. But is that good or better than Mr. Dragon Man? I don't know. I don't know. But it's I don't know. Yeah. Did I get right? Did I get your three right, Lone, or no? Full face cam. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit just because we're talking about VR right now and it doesn't really matter. But what else we talk about? Let's go to Death. Where are you, Death? I don't know what this gameplay is, but I found it. Arena Breakout. Just looks like an FPS to me. But I found gameplay of it. I thought we'll watch this on. Nope, wrong button. God damn it. Oh God. Ooh. Takwa looks so cool. I like her playstyle. Yinling, yes. Jinxa, you got two. Come on, one more. Baizu, no. Dang, which one was it? What was the last one? San. God damn it. What was it? Oh, did I back out of it? God damn it. It was what? It was. Wait, was it Bonza? Bonza, nope. What was the other one? Although Sanha. Was it Bonza? Who the hell is Bonza? Lone, you should know me at this point. Names are nothing. They mean nothing to me. No, okay, no, that wasn't that. That was what I thought you said. No. Although Sanha looks cool, but she's high on the tier list, so nope. You close, Grin. You got. Who's the other one? What did you do? Is the third. Wait, okay. Twak. Who the hell is that? You know what, Lone? I kicked myself. This was the one when I seen her attack, I thought, looks a little flashy. Wait, no, was it this one? No, you wanted this one? Oh, of course, because you're trying to be anti-meta, you son of a bitch. Okay. I thought it was the other one. The other one looked way cooler to me. She's definitely like Bido. You fucking guy. The one I thought looked kind of neat, which surprised me, was I think it's this. No, not you. Not you. This one. I was like, oh, actually, this one's. Ooh, I like this one too, though. God damn, I gotta look at what 5 stars are and shit. What do they do? God damn it. Lone, is there like a channel out there that has basically broken down and played all these characters and explained what they do? Because I would love to see that video, or that channel that could go through all of them and be like, this character's ass. This character I don't want at all. Let's go back to the military shooter. Oh, you close, Grin. Yeah, I can't. I got 2 out of them. Dang, I didn't know you enjoyed the sleepy archetype, like the sleepy girl archetype. I find that one to be a little tight. Yeah, yeah. The only one that, no, they don't really have that. It's just like kind of like the dead in emotion. There's a character I seen in recently on what is it called? A person like breaking down the crazy world of fate, essentially, and there was a character called Nightingale on there, and then she has like, you know, like a fucking military suit that's red, and she's got like a very limited expressions, and I thought that looked kind of neat, kind of cute in a way. Dill says, "What's up? What's good, Dill?" All right, Dill, you came in at the wrong time. Dill, we already talked about Xbox destroying my faith in the gaming industry completely, and just crying about Fable, because who knows what the hell that's going to be. Hopefully it's good. Also, you missed us talking about Withering Waves, and how I'm very hyped for it and very excited for it. Can't wait to play it. And how I still don't know who I'm going to pick, because I don't really know what they do or what they're about. Yeah. From an aesthetic value, I also want to know what they look like in a better way. But yeah. Anime fans is also fluff. I meant parasitic grenade. Oh, okay. Lone says, yes, actually there is, I sent you a video later. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, you'll send me videos about it? Perfect. All right. Anyways, Dill, you caught me at the other part of this stream, okay? I'm going to take a big old swig of my coffee. I'm even going to put on my headphones because I'm tired of having pressure on my neck. I'm going to turn this down because I got music in my ear. Ladies and gentlemen, one sec. Sorry about this in advance. No, okay, we're going to tilt that like that a little bit. Just like that. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gamer, man. We're gaming. We're gaming all the time. Gaming all day, every day. Let me tell you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Is your mind, your feeble mind, ready to endure, to push beyond your mortal coil? Let's talk about VR, baby! Ladies and gentlemen, this may mean nothing to you, but it means so much to me. I've been playing a game for a long, long time now, and it is still perhaps a worse example, or a better example of ambitious things just not coming into existence, essentially. I have been following this game and playing it, and I actually covered a great deal on my Mind Palace of Madness channel called Bonelab. This was made by developer Stress Level Zero. The original ambition for this game was to essentially make a VR game that was infinitely moddable, because they were able to understand that VR is in a place right now where it basically is not readily available because the technology and the access is just not there. So why not make a game where, like, it doesn't matter that the value and the cool factor is there so much, where like modders can go to town, they can make things, showcase things, do so many incredible things within this engine, and kind of show people what like VR could really be, at the same time as kind of testing out what kind of things people like in VR. Beat Saber, best VR game. It's probably, yeah, it's Gorilla Tag is also really popular. There's tons of ones up there. But I agree, Beat Saber looks like a ton of fun, especially if you play a lot of it. Like, looks like a proper evolution of Guitar Hero. Anyways, back to Bonelab. Bonelab ended up falling short of their ambition to basically be that, to be the Gary's Mod of VR. The reason why is because they said that they were going to support the game as soon as it was launched, and like update the modding engine for like a year straight to basically tweak and make it better and better and better, so modders could do more and more things, which is abnormal. Most companies would just make a mod engine, walk away, and that'd be it. But these developers, Stress Level Zero, was like, no, we're actually gonna like grind this out, and we're gonna improve it over time, so that we can listen to the modding community and know what they want us to do and what to make it more simple, and so on and so forth. Now, fast forward a year. There is no update. There has been no updates for the game. What the hell happened, Stress Level Zero? Everyone was very, very pissed. Now, I think a year and some change passed. And finally, Stress Level Zero came out a long time ago, probably like 6 months ago, and said, hey guys, it's not that we haven't abandoned the game. Here's what happened. And I think this is kind of the story that, at least in my head, makes the most sense. But essentially, they took a long time to release another VR game. They didn't have a lot of money. So they had this game called Bonelab that they were kind of theory crafting for. They had some of it built, but they needed money really quickly, so I imagine they sold it to Meta. Meta bought it for a lot of money. That kept their head above water. Then they sold that game for so much. That game popped off in a big way. People hyped up the shit out of the game. The game sold absurdly well. Most people who own VR own Bonelab. But one of the things that they did is rush their idea. So they also, this is so funny seeing this guy like fucking whiff 7 grenades. So fucking hilarious. Anyways, so they basically they had to rush their development. So what they ended up doing is be like, okay, we can either keep going and keep like kind of building off of this game that is basically broken from the inside out, or we could tear down all of the engine that is Marrow and rebuild it to actually be something that can be good in VR. What does this mean? They kind of talk about stuff being like the way it's encoding stuff is bad, the way that it kind of is culling stuff, like putting stuff away when you leave an area, that's terrible. The NPCs and the way they work are very just not very good NPCs in general. So many criticisms they had for their own kind of product of Marrow, this like physics-based engine sim. So eventually, they said that they're basically ready to talk about the fact that they're almost done repairing their entire thing of Marrow. Now, that was 6 months ago, but I shit you not, 2 or 3 days ago, on Twitter, they said that, hey, by the way, guys, patch 4, I think is what it is. Patch 4 is probably going to be released at some point in this month. Then people asked a bunch of questions, and basically, this patch 4 isn't really a patch 4, but instead is basically like an entire reboot of the engine that they made. This is the mod kit, the mod engine, and honestly, Bonelab as a whole, a reboot of their entire game, essentially, of the engine itself. It's all free of charge, it's update, etc. And people were like, holy shit, that's incredible. Why did it take so long? Like, this is a year and some change away. What are you even adding? And the developers were like, we're not adding anything. We basically just stabilized the shit out of the game, and we made it so that the mod engine and the mod kit is significantly better. And how long this took was longer than it took them to make an entirely other game that took a year and a half to make, called Duck Season. And to me, everyone's like, holy shit. And people were also frustrated. They were like, I would have much rather you made like a brand new game like Duck Season than make this patch, make this whole new, supportive element to the game. But I still think I agree with what Stress Level 0 feels, which is it's much more valuable to the entity of VR to basically go out of your way to make an engine that can showcase the wonder of VR, to showcase like this gameplay thing really works in VR. And also it makes sense from Stress Level 0's perspective, because they are already fostered like an insane modding community. Like, if you haven't paid attention to some of our VR content, they're like, the modding community constantly goes above and beyond any modding community I've seen, really. With the things that they're doing, especially with like broken legs, like the engine that they're making these mods for don't do any of that. Like, they have to add like the third-party code to kind of make it all function. Anyways, needless to say, I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited to see, like, this was a year and a half of development. What does that even look like? If Bonelab runs better, then that means we could potentially get more stuff. But that's not it. It might be like, oh, they took a year to make one patch and now they're going away. No, that's the craziest thing. The person commented, the person who's the main dev for Stress Level 0, the head dev, director, he basically said, not only do we have patch 4 ready to release, but we also have patch 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 9 ready to release. And each one we want to have 6 weeks of gap in between. And people were like, wait, you said you've had patch 4 for like 7 months. What the fuck? Why not just release it? And then he basically said that no, the reason why we don't want to release it is because it's going to fuck up the mod scene by a lot. So like, we want to make it so that we have the patch, but we're trying to make it so that that patch doesn't break any of the mods, or not break as many mods as it possibly can. So we're trying to basically like not just like lose half of the content that has been built up over there for years on the mod.io. But the fact that like, oh shit, now we have like a ton of updates coming. And then people ask, well, what are these updates? And it seems like all of the updates are just going to be massive extensions of the engines that are basically going to give us things. So like patch 1 is probably, or patch 4, sorry, the one that we're getting this month, is probably just a stabilization patch for the whole of Marrow. Marrow is the engine in which Bonelab is built. It's like a physics sim. So that's going to be like a stabilization patch probably. They've also tweaked a bunch of stuff like doors, clipping. So there's probably going to be much better physics in the world of Bonelab. I'm excited to see if they've done some of this like soft grab stuff, that whole jam. But what's even more exciting is that eventually one of those patches is going to be the NPC patch. And that is by far the weakest conceivable thing in Bonelab. The NPCs are the stupidest thing. They just kind of look at you and they go, and they kind of just like walk towards you, and you're just like an animal just blowing their head off, and you're like, I'm sick. This is all wrong. Why are the enemies so derpy and not good? So one of those patches could be vehicles. One of those patches could be NPCs. One of those patches could be like a rework to all guns. One could be, this is the biggest one that people are looking forward to, actually like RPG scaling level stuff. So actually being able to do that stuff. And I don't know, man. To me, it is just... it is by far like the most let them cook kind of thing. That's what I think Fluff says. So as the kids nowadays say, let them cook. Yeah. Well, that's the funniest thing, man, is that like, I think again, maybe I have a problem in my brain with stories. Where like I constantly try to understand, well, why did this happen in the way that it did? What could have been the things coming out with this whole story? So my brain connects things and things like story-wise. So one of the things I was thinking was like, oh, people were wondering, like, why didn't you talk about this? Like, why didn't Stress Level Zero be more open with the community and talk about why this is happening and why that's happening and all these things? And basically, to me, I kept thinking in my head, I was like, oh, maybe this was basically because, like, this is kind of the shameful reality, but it's like they could have very easily just taken the massive money bag given by Bonelab. And to tell you the truth, dude, I wouldn't have thought any less of them. I paid, I think, $30 or $40 for Bonelab, and I've gotten hours and hours of content that is not even near similar to anything I've ever gotten ever because of the modding community. Walking on broken legs. With a terrible engine, they were still able to do so many incredible things to where I played so many mods that are so beautiful. Avatars that like make your brain melt, like levels that are just gorgeous. The ability to actually move around and climb, and the physics in that game, albeit not perfect, are still better than 90% of the stuff that's available on the market, at least to play. Maybe not to build in, but play. So like they could have taken the money and ran away, and I still probably would have bought their second game. I would have been like, okay, let's. Whenever they start talking about like making one game where they can be infinitely moddable, I would probably be like, yeah, they're full of shit. But yeah, they still could have just taken the money and left. But instead, this is one of the few examples of Stress Level Zero not being owned by anybody, so they're not owned by like a Microsoft or something, so they can just keep cooking, in Fluff's words, or as the kids say, they can just keep cooking until it is finished and done and just better than anything that they could have done. And to me, it is just extremely exciting. It's like the by far like. In hindsight, it's kind of like I was already happy with what we got. It wasn't perfect, but I was happy with it. And now you're telling me that we have 9 updates out. That we have 4 currently updated on the game, or 3. We're about to have 4, 5, 6, all the way up until 9. We're about to get that for the next coming year because we're gonna have like 6 weeks in between each update. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff to basically like cook and like grow with. That is unimaginably sick. Again, I cannot wait. I also, it makes me feel happy that I put my lot in with Bonelab. You know what I mean? Like I kept making content of it, even though I'm like, this game hasn't updated itself in a long time. The content I think is weird, but it's fun. I'm just gonna keep building an audience here, and it's kind of exciting to see like if this game does better and like it keeps adding new stuff, keeps growing. Then maybe, just maybe, this game could actually do better on YouTube, and I might have made like a good investment, so to speak. But who knows? I'm really just there because I enjoyed the VR stuff so much, and that game does it really uniquely. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I don't know. It may not mean that much to any of you, but I thought that was so exciting to me. Dill says, I'm not a gamer, so the sadness can't get to me. That's true, Dill. I'm jealous a little bit. Alone says, speaking of Beat Saber, Grin, you still owe us a Beat Saber stream. Do I owe you one? I don't know if I owe you one. You got Lone, you got to be better about this. You got to ask me. You got to say something like that right when we hit like a down spell, like when Destiny has dried up and I'm not into it anymore. When when you know, Withering Waves is whatever it ends up being, and we're like, I'm bored. Let me do something else. Bang. That's when you'd be like, hey, Grin. And I'm like, that's true. We could do that. I need to do something. And yeah, but now we got too many things to juggle. And I'm like, fuck that. Fuck that. Maybe eventually, but not now. Alone says, oh yeah, Grin, I never asked how your day. My day was pretty good. My day hasn't really started yet, to tell you the truth. I kind of slept in a little bit. I woke up at 9, not too good. And then I edited a lot. And then I was like, shit, I need to have some understanding of Withering Waves, or else Lone's just going to be like haphazardly telling me about stuff. And I'm going to be like, okay, but what about the, okay. And then, so I wanted to have some idea of what it was. So I watched a bunch of Withering Waves video for like 30 minutes. And I came to the stream and I was like, I'm confused. And that's, yep. Yep. Also, Nub says, Rabbit Season. Nub, holy shit, I found another Harada clicker game. Nub, why do you like those games so much? Why do you like clicker games where like the more you click a lady, the more like the clothes it comes off? Unless that's not what happened. I feel like you told me about this many times to where there has to be something you somehow enjoy. Also, why don't you not just have like a one of those clicker things where you can like click 1,000 times in one bop, you know? Quick Loan, give us your best Nub impression and exclaim, I was stop. Stop, Fluff. Not encourage Nub's behavior. Also, if you if you were robbed, you better be willing to prove it, okay? I'm out here saying smoking mirrors. Say what? Well, it's 5 months ago. You have the tapes? Do you have the history? Guess what? Twitch purges itself. Twitch purges itself. I don't have the like infinite catalog thing that YouTube has, and YouTube doesn't show up anything. I don't even think the redeemed show up on YouTube's or Twitch's little list up there. You gotta screenshot that shit, or it never happened. What happens on stream stays on stream unless you screenshot it to hold me accountable. Until then, what's good, Raid? Oh, Raid, you missed the stream. I wanted you to be here, buddy. We talked about Withering Waves and how we're excited for it, and how Fluff's not. But hey, Raid says, hey, Grim, I figured I'd at least hop on stream at some point during the stream. Yeah, what's good, Ray? Hopefully the day's been lovely. We missed you. Alone says, I've been robbed and scammed. However, Nub was saying, Nub would say, I've been scammed. And I'm like, what? And I was like, this is lies. How dare you stand where he stood? Who stood? Shut up. That's not how they work. And I don't like Harada games, clicker games. I don't know why I censored Harada. Guys, I still haven't gotten the email that said that my cup has been sent, and yet it's not there. I go to GamerSupps and it's still not there to pre-order, so it's clearly not. The pre-order is done, and it still hasn't been here. Grr. So I can't even like look forward to it. Like I can't even track the package and be like, it's in Ottawa or something, and I'm like, that's so far away. But still, Fluff says, to be fair, I have reservations. Yeah, I know. Actually, I thought you were excited for it. Like, that's why I was surprised when I heard you say this stuff. Like you did. I did think you were more excited for ZZZ because I think you played it. But yeah, I was surprised to see that you were not. Not just not liking it, but pretty like against it. I guess. Fluff says, Grin, I was pre-order for Crater Cup. It will take 12 to 16 weeks after the pre-sale. So does that mean like 12 to 6 weeks then it ships? Oh, I thought it was like when the pre-sale ends, then you can expect your cup within 12 to 6 weeks. Not like 12 to 6 weeks and then it ships all the way to America, to US, or to Canada. Damn. So I'm beginning to say next year. Damn. Shit. Well, fuck. Raid says, also, I picked up Hades 2 early access, and I'm already, yeah, no, people have been talking about that a lot. People are like, it's so good. Does early access still have, like, all of it? Like, is it basically, like, you can beat the game and, like, see the ending and get all that, or is it, like, no? Like, they've limited the ending, or you can only go up to, like, I don't know how the game works, but, like, level 7, essentially, or level 30 out of, like, 80. Lone says, you won't hear about your cup for a while, Grin. Fluff says, so sadly you cannot expect or hear about it after a couple of months. That's tough. That's tough. Jesus. Definitely should have separated my package. I thought it was like, I can wait 2 months. Not like, oh, it's going to be like 6 months. Probably more. And you're like, oh. Man. Well. Unknown says, and not how they work. I do not like those types of games. What kind of games do you like then, Nub? In that genre? Fluff says, I would be either... I will be either against or August or September, not next. Yeah, I know. I'll probably be a year, but probably like a lot. Yeah, I would be a Halloween present or something. Raid says there is a lot in it, and the final boss is there, so I'd assume the ending is there. Oh, I see. Okay, 12 to 16 weeks in 3 months at most. Oh, so when Fluff said it correct, he was saying that it's about 12 to 16 weeks. What do you call it? That will be like when yeah. I'm not sure. I just don't know if it's like 12 to 16 weeks, and then it's shipped, or expect the thing to arrive within 12 to 16 months. Like it will. Yeah, and maybe that's why they give it to like 12 to 16 months, is because it will be ready for 12, but then it could take 16 months to get to you, depending on where you're at in the States or across the country. Fluff says, at least a big puffer design is a girl dressed as a skeleton, so it fits the spooky... Ooh, it's true! It's true! The whole anime, the abs one, yeah, that one doesn't really fit. The blowhole blast also doesn't fit. The thigh also, yeah, not, other than that, so it's just that. If I would have got the raspberry cream one, that would have been a little bit more like blood, vampire blood type vibe. Sheeps? I mean ships. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. My dyslexia helped you. I got, yeah. Also, Anime Fan says Kaiji no 8 is good, but I know what you call Anime Fan. I seen what was it called? I seen a clip of it. I didn't know it had moments like My Hero Academia moments, which I'm just like overjoyed with. Which is like that super hype. The music kicks in. It gets fucking crazy. It's like All Might using his fucking all for one power, shattering the world, shit like that. Except instead of like human being superheroes, it's like giga gods, like demonic. What is it called? The main character looks like a mixture of a dragon and a lich combined. It looks so sick. I seen one clip of him like punching, and it would just look so rad. And I was like, this is gonna be fire. Although I do hear there's some turmoil in the manga scene where people are saying that kind of fell off. It's not as exciting. But then I also hear people say that like people are psychotic. Like the anime is so much better, and I kind of have more faith in that. I kind of have more faith in that the story took time to like develop and become better, rather than just being like high octane. Because I noticed that's a lot, man. Like the success of a manga usually depends on how quickly they can like fucking just drive shit through. Like Chainsaw Man's a great example. Chainsaw Man's really awesome, but it's like constant, like the next thing. Blood, guts, violence. Okay, now there's a little bit of talking, fun vibe, more violence, more talking, more death. This new thing. Whereas I actually do like the manga to kind of like, okay, we're gonna pop off, we're gonna slow down a little bit, we're gonna kind of grind through this one thing that's important, and then we're gonna get back into the flow of things. What is raw meat's flavor again? I think Fluff told me this, but I lost what the thing was. Fluff says, I got raw meat for my mom since she likes both watermelon and cantaloupe. Ooh, I don't like cantaloupe. Yeah, but watermelon I dig, but cantaloupe has a strong, like, weird taste to me. And she told me it was good. Ooh, that's cool. That's also nice that you got it for your mom. I bet that's sweet. Also, it's by far the one that doesn't have
big parabuba on it. Although I did think you were saying that your mom was absurdly cool with it. Your mom was like, "This is cool." Oh, you know what's hilarious? My mom was also extremely understanding about it. I just told her about, like, it's all marketing. It's kind of like pinup girls. And she's like, okay. Yeah, I do not have one of those parents or moms that's like, how dare you? You know, she's like, yeah, whatever. Raid says, I really wish I could have caught more of the stream. I want to know more about Wuthering Waves to see if I should get it or no. Well, you don't have to get it. It's just going to be free, so you can try it. But to me, there was a lot of cool things that stood out to me that were neat. Like Lone was telling us yesterday, all of the banners pity is 80, but there is the starter banner essentially. So there's like 4 banners in total. The kind of like bog standard banner, and then the monthly unique banner character and weapon. You know. But basically, when we log in, we're going to be able to, it's not the pity isn't at 80 for the standard banner, for the character banner. It's at 50, and we get to choose whichever out of all the 5 stars that are in the base game. They're in that banner essentially. I think it's like 3 or 5. I'm not sure. Lone will have to tell us. But we could basically get if we spend 50 pulls into that banner, we basically get to choose out of the 5. Or out of the allotted 5 stars that we have available in the standard banner, which is awesome. So it's not like you don't have to choose. You can just pick the one that you want. I also think there's the Sephiroth, which is like a badass, fucking a lightning guy who looks like a good DPS, who's there. So we'll probably be able to get him for sure, which sounds awesome. And that was really nice. The other thing that really excited me, Raid, I remember one of the things that frustrated me about Genshin was basically just that there was, like, if you wanted to play more, there was nothing really to do after you burnt your resin. But the way the artifact system works in this game made me really excited, because basically you got, how do I phrase this properly? You basically can, like, artifacts drop from enemy types, so they're actually like enemy body parts. Like you almost get like a Pokeball of an enemy. Then you can, like, equip 12 artifacts or Pokeballs of the boss type you just fought. But each boss type can drop with a rare, legendary, and then like a common essentially. But you can basically infinitely farm the lower type of like the non-boss resin burning monsters to basically get like really good stats. So like I think if you didn't want to like get what I'm assuming is much better, which is the boss's artifact set, you could just grind all day to get really good artifacts, like good base scaling legendary artifacts. And then you could take those legendary artifacts and you still have to roll them, but you could have like 7 that you grinded out yesterday, and we could have fun on stream just grinding out artifacts all day and then rolling them and seeing if we get a good one, and not having to be beholden to the resin system. I assume the bosses are going to be much better, but there's 12 slots to slot in, so it's not just like Genshin where I think there was 6, so there's 12 slots to slot in, so you can actually hold much more. And it probably will be like, okay, yeah, you do want to get this boss for its specific DPS effect, but the other things are support effects, and you could even just like slap on more DPS effects, but which is the lower kind of ones. Which to me, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. We can actually play more if we wanted. There's also like there's Spiral Abyss essentially, which is a little bit whatever. But you do get a 5-star from completing a Spiral Abyss, which is hilarious because I think at the time they only gave us what's her name? Fischl. They only gave us Fischl in Genshin, but they're giving us a 5-star for going far enough in the equivalent Spiral Abyss in Wuthering Waves. There's also a roguelike dungeon crawler-like experience all day one that you're going to be able to do. There's also what was it? It was there's also all of these like artifacts that we're farming. So we're basically like killing enemies and then getting a thing. Also, I think Genshin only has 5. Yeah, only has 5 artifact slots. This one has 12. I think that's maximum point. And also, out of all of those artifact sets, because they're basically like monsters, like you're just taking a monster core and you're like plugging it into yourself or somehow. Those monster cores, almost all of these artifacts, I think it's all of them, have an actual unique effect. So like there was one artifact set raid that was awesome. It was like there was like this giant gorilla. So you have all your artifacts, and then you have like a king artifact that you can like plug in. That is, you can put any artifact seemingly in that king slot, and that king slot will give you like an ability. And that ability, which one of them that I seen which looked awesome, was you can summon a giant gorilla with a bat, and you just start smashing the shit out of the ground. And then that's on cooldown for a little bit. So you not only have like the perk bonuses, but you also have like, if you defeat a boss and maybe they have like a mass AoE heal, then you could plug that into your king slot of your artifact slot, and that will give you a whole ass new ability. So not only are you getting weapons that can be interesting, you're getting new characters that can be interesting. You're getting what's it called? Like new challenges that can be interesting, but you're also getting like a new when a new boss is released into the game. That's exciting. Again, it's not very exciting. You're just gonna have to farm a boss again. But this time you can farm that boss and they get an extremely fantastic unique perk, which is it's awesome. Don't get me wrong, I will try Withering Waves, but like Genshin, I have I thought it'd be the same vibe as Genshin, where you kind of oscillated between going a little bit in, going a little bit out, creating your own goals that you were interested in, and then getting out again. So I imagine it goes like that for you, which I think is totally fair. Anifan says the rundown of my gameplay is honestly kind of memey of this one. Ray, you mean like your video you make? Because yeah, if that's what you mean, that's awesome. It does really well on YouTube. Memery nonsense stuff. I don't mean nonsense in a bad thing. I mean like nonsense is like it's kind of chaotic. Raid says also I think Genshin only had like 5 artifact slots. Yeah. But Star Rail has like 6. Well, guess what? 12. Withering was like, let's double it. I don't know if that's good or bad yet. Ugh. Lone says also, Grin, important thing I should mention for Withering Waves endgame, we're gonna need 3 teams. Yeah, that's the other thing. So like how Spiral Abyss works in Withering Waves, I think it's like an energy system. So you could use this character. And imagine it works like, oh, you want to use a 5-star character to get past this chunk? Oh, good. That's fantastic. But guess what? What do you call it? That's going to take 5 energy to get you through this Spiral Abyss. And when you get to the later stages, you're not going to have enough money to have like 3 5-stars in your team. So what you're going to need is you're going to need probably some good 4-stars built. They're basically trying to incentivize you building not just the highest powerhouses in the world for specifically the Spiral Abyss. It's only for the Spiral Abyss that this seems to be a thing, which makes sense. They're trying to incentivize like you not just building 5-stars and then being godly. You kind of have to build out everyone, and it probably also helps the community to also have people who are building out everyone and not just like the top of the cream of the crop, which a lot of content creators tend to do. So that to me is really neat. Also, it could be bad. It also could be like it could be something against. It could be like, oh fuck, yeah. But so you basically need like, I think it's like what Lone was saying. You need like 12 characters, or 12 teams kind of pseudo built. I don't know if it's exactly 12. I would assume you need 2 teams really built, and then probably like another 1 team to kind of like just kind of get you past the beginnings, like good enough that they can push you past. But yeah. That's interesting that they're changing up the way Spiral Abyss works, because yeah, I never really loved Spiral Abyss, to tell you the truth. It's just kind of like, at least in that game, it became just a lot of work to do, and I didn't love doing it. Does that make sense? If that makes sense. Raid says that sounds pretty cool. Fluff says so far there's very few characters that resonate with me from Withering Waves. The gun character looks neat, and the white hat Pugilist might be the closest I've ever had in a potential. Ooh, yeah, at least that's something to have, some goal. Yeah, what do you call it? The one with the gun to me is neat. I gotta look into it though, because I don't really understand what what Lone was meaning about that. I still don't know. Like, I bet we could just find it. Let me just look real quick. Oh, my body. Let me just type in face cam. Let me just type in Withering Waves. Withering Waves. Withering Waves. How do I put this character list? All you guys are gonna be seeing is my shoulder. Character 5. I just want to see like a 5-star. How do I phrase this question? I basically see a list of all the 4. There it is. Got it. Bangarang. Okay. And this. And we'll do this. Okay, so Yo-Yo Mommy is essentially 5-star. We got the one Earthbender slash Waterbender person who is also a 5-star. Damn it! None of the characters I like are 5 stars. Actually, never mind. Wait, I don't. How does this make sense though? Lone said Lone. Which of the characters are part of the base game? Because if she is a part of the standard banner, I'd want her. Because if she's a 5-star, then I might rock that. Hey, I don't know. I guess Sephiroth isn't here, so this may not be all the characters. God damn it! No! Oh, didn't mean to do that. God damn you. Oh, I just closed the whole damn window. Oh, fine. It bounced out. Alright, that's that. Alright, where? I still want to see one that's like, just give me the fucking 5 stars and the 4 stars, man. It's killing me. I should just say all 5 stars. All 5 stars and 4 stars. There. Nope. I didn't put stars right. Stars. I still don't have a good thing, man. I just have the original one. Are the ones that you showed me, Flown, are they not all going to be in the base game? Hey. I can't find an image that I want. I just see a bunch of rankings. Hey. Well, perhaps we were not meant to see. To see. Oh, that's Tower Fantasy. That's Wuthering Waves. Fuck it, I don't know what I'm looking at. Anyways, alright, I don't know what to say. I couldn't find what I wanted to find. Grin type. Okay. P-R-Y-D-U-N. List? I typed it in, Lone. Type Pridewin list. Is it in like just the base things? Oh, okay, good. No, that's good enough, Lone. Thank you. All right, so this is what we're dealing with. So these are all the 5 stars. Okay, so 5 stars alone. Are all these going to be pickable from the standard banner? Which ones are standard banner picks and which one aren't? Because to me, this one's already a get. I just don't know which one's like the standard banner, which one's not. I'll be honest, man. I think I might choose this one over. Well, she's definitely not. She's definitely not a standard banner. She's one of the limited character banners. But Matt, I kind of like this one. I don't know if she's good or not. Probably she's not, but she looks fun to play. She's got 2 little horned demon things. And unfortunately, all the other characters I liked were 4 stars. That's just sad. This guy, a 4-star? Sad. This guy, wait, no, her, 4-star? Sad. Why? Are there like, there's others? I don't know. Like Danny is a cracked 4-star DPS. This is not all the characters. Yanwa, blue-haired, white hat dude is Electro, so I would likely go with him. Blue hat. Is that Fedora Man? He is. Fedora Man. You rock Fedora Man? Grin, type, Pridewin. There's a total of 17 characters at launch. Whew. Oddly adding of the gunslinger are 4. I know, weird. Anime Fan says 5 stars is really getting exotics in Destiny 2 world drops. 5 stars is really just getting, yeah, for sure, yeah. Except you have to pay money for every time you have to, or not really. You don't have to pay money. You can do a lot of side stuff probably. Okay, Lone says, Chalshra, Incro, are all standard banner. Okay, so this person's standard banner. This person's standard banner. Okay, so all of these are standard banner. Oh, he's not. Ooh, those fuckers. No wonder they didn't put him here. You sons of bitches. Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe Lone misspelled it, but no, I guess not. But variant. Okay, so this one is standard banner. So this standard, 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 and standard. Okay, well, at least we get her, maybe. Maybe she's not good, though. But to me, it's a toss-up between either this one or... but this one could be just a good DPS, though. Yeah. Ah. Damn you. It's tough. It's tough. Also, this one's the... Is this the person who's like the Giga support? Maybe we go with the support. I don't know. I gotta look at these damn tier lists and see which one is actually worth a damn. Because unlike Lone, I'm not about this play whoever I want. It's gotta be a balance of play whoever I want, but also be good enough to carry me. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to use the washroom, and we've been streaming for almost 3 hours, so it's good enough. I had only regular sword users. That is a 5-star is Rover. Oh, I didn't know that. Lone says, from what I heard, max constellation 4 stars are per with 5 characters with like 3 constellations. What does that mean, Lone? From what I hear, max constellation 4 stars are on par as 5 stars that have 3. Oh shit, no way. That's pretty cool. I bet those 5 stars pop off when you get the final capstone like they always do, though. But I will say, it does not seem like it is impossible to do that. Unlike other games, it does seem like it's a battle of attrition to get the character you want maxed out. Maybe. Maybe. Jan and Yuri are on our first limited banner. Oh, okay. I see. So it's the dude with the... They put both the beautiful people for the ladies, the beautiful people for the dudes, on the one banner. But they also gave us Sephiroth, which I feel like is a win, and I feel like the one like monk lady also looks like she's a pass. So it's not like, again, I normally would feel weird about those kinds of things where it's like clearly the best looking character is hidden behind the paywall, but. I don't know. I feel like that's less present here because we also got good ones on the free-to-play side, or the standard banner, I should say. I'll send you a video. I can't wait to watch it, Lone. Listen, I can't clear all the content with the characters I enjoy. It's just a bad game at that. Yeah, it's probably true. It's probably true. But from what I've heard, people say that like all these characters are S tier. Like no one's bad. Especially considering I've heard people say that like they've beaten all the content that's the hardest in the game just by parrying and dodging with 4 stars, essentially. Because I think, like you were saying, everything kills you at endgame, like in one hit. So if you just have to get good at perfectly dodging and timing all these things, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see how that feels. Hopefully it's not impossible to do that stuff. I imagine it'll be like more complicated than normal gacha and normal kind of games like this, but I still imagine, like I see that there's like a parry thing is like a circle that's enclosing itself, and then you parry at the right time. So I imagine it's like, yeah, it's not like Dark Souls where it's like ball crushing, but it is probably more than other VR games, or not VR games, more than other gacha type games. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I can see you in the next stream. We probably will be streaming tomorrow, but I don't want to promise anything because I don't know if it's going to take me so long to edit this or what's going to happen, but I think I should be able to find an hour tomorrow or 2 to be able to grind some more Destiny. So if you guys missed some of the Destiny streams this week, we'll be playing again tomorrow. Probably just grinding out the stuff we need to do. Hopefully Fluff and Red and Raid are all there so we can play together, and Anime Fan. But if not, totally get it. So it's like Dark Souls, but anime? Sure. We'll call it that. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and goodbye, my friends.